Good evening once again. You are welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining. Thank you once again. Thank you for joining. Please invite your loved ones. We are back again. We are back again. What we are seeing in the UK social care. Today, we'll be talking about Stoke-on-Trent Council. Stoke-on-Trent Council. Please invite your loved one. We'll be talking about Stoke-on-Trent Council. Invite a loved one. If you are watching us for the first time, please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow us. Don't forget to connect. Thank you once again. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining once again. We say thank you. Please, let's keep tapping. Those of us on TikTok, let's keep tapping. Those of us on YouTube, please continue to share with your loved one. We are back again. 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 Thank you for joining. 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 We are back again. We are back again. So, our guest for today, thank you so much for coming around. Thank you for volunteering today to share your experience. Without wasting much of our time, do you want to tell us how did you get across to save the woman, and in what way did you seek for support, and how has that been? Take a mic.
Okay, good evening, the viewers. Thank you for your time and the opportunity given to me to share my experience about what I went through the hands of social workers in Stoke-on-Trent. Well, to start with, I think I got to know about Save the Woman through a friend called Lady Jane Ezolu from UNIDO. He worked with Nigerian community in London. So my experience, the trauma that I went through with my family, I don't think if I start explaining it here today, the time will not permit for that. But let me cut it short. I know Save the Woman from the lady I mentioned already. When my family was going through the trauma that we passed through in the hand of social workers in Stoke-on-Trent. So after I consulted the lady, then she told me where to run to. So that's when I started looking for Save the Woman, and they got their numbers and so on through the lady. So I called Allah and explained my experience to him. Without wasting much time, went into action immediately. And he also sympathized with my family for what we are going through. So without charging me any money, without, asking me for any, he just went straight and make sure that he intervened. So I'm so grateful to him. I never met him before. Neither do I speaking to him before. Neither do I have any contact with him. But he just took it upon himself and they asked me to just to relax. He normally use the word relax. When he say relax, and the relax is always he always be the best at the end of the day. So he gave me a very big confidence that everything will be okay. So let me start with my experience and the story. I came back here one evening after a day job and having my dinner. So my wife just called me and said, look at what my son is doing. He's watching those pop films. I said, what happened? Why is he watching all those? It's not good because it's not up to 18 years. So we discovered that instead of him to do his assignment, he leave it on doing other things. And as a parent, we are not happy about it. And the law of this country didn't permit the underage to watch it. So that is the offense we committed, nothing more. So we question him and give him some word of advice that he shouldn't do that next time. So on our surprise, the next day I was in my workplace. Then my phone rang. It was the social worker asking me that my child said that I beat him, I flogged him with the belt, I did a lot of things, I said no, he didn't. Those things didn't happen. So that's the offense we committed. From there, police came into my house, taking my wife, and they went to hospital, claiming that my child has some marks and a lot of things they are saying, negative things that didn't take place. So at the end of it all, the doctor said that my son have no problem, that all the things they are saying is not true, that my son is healthy and sound. There is no mark, there is no bruise in his body. So they came back. Then I was invited to the school the next day. That made us to believe that we are not able to take care of our children, that we have to allow my son to go to child this thing. I don't know where they are dumping children. I can't remember that name. They say my child will not go to home. Then the second one, they went to the school as well. Say that we are not going to take them home. I say for what? They say that's what their manager, the police, that we should wait until after their investigation, unless we have a place we can keep him. I say, how come my child, my son, go and stay with somebody while the parents are here? They didn't agree with us. They say we shouldn't near those children. They take my son to someone. Then my wife provided a place. They asked her if she has someone where they can keep her for a while. Then yes, my wife call her friend, a Portuguese woman. Then they say, okay, they will leave my son there, and we shouldn't near there. We shouldn't come close to the place, just about 2 kilometers to our home. So that's how our trauma started. Then before you know it, police coming and going, the investigation started. So that's when I call Ola, see what we are passing through, see what our son did that warranted all this embarrassment. So then Allah asked me to sign, and there's a paper he gave me to sign. Then I signed. Then he started action immediately. Then after that, he called them, then asked them some questions that there's a protocol they're supposed to go through before involving police. That's what Allah was telling them. So at the end of it all, you know how these social workers behave. They always claim when they have the power of authority from the local council, they do whatever they like. So at the end of it all, then Allah was, speaking on our behalf and so on. He just take over the case. So that's how he started guiding us, telling us what to say and what not to say. In short, I really thank him because he is the one that, guiding us, telling us what to do at the appropriate time. So that is the only way, the only weapon, because we have not got this kind of experience before. So they placed my child at the end of the day to child protection. Then after some few weeks, then they returned my child and placed him into child protection. I think that's what they call it. So then my child, when we went to the meeting, the conference meeting, they fixed, I think, and after 1 month or 2 months, they started narrating the story about my family, what my child told them, what and what not to say, So at the end of it, it happened that they contact my first daughter. She's schooling at Wolverhampton University. So started narrating how they speak to her and what she said, to the extent that my daughter said that I'm a Nazist. Can you believe a daughter calling her father a Nazist? That I'm be maltreating these children for long, that she herself went such experience. She passed such experience. Then my son was in opinion that they should drive me away in the house. The father, I should leave the house for them, that they can stay with their mother. Just a lot of negative comment and lies. So, and the Allah was there and the police was there. So Allah asked them a question. The chairman of the conference, I don't want to mention the name, but Allah asked her, why should the daughter call her father a Nazist? And he didn't see anything bad, and he just maneuvered that question. He don't even want to go into it. So, but when I called my daughter was crying, saying that she didn't speak to them. She didn't even mention such thing to them. All this thing was to frame all these things up. When you want to kill a dog, you give it bad name. So I find out that one of the teachers is the one that's instigating all this thing, branding the whole issue to the point of how they will just nail my family. Without knowing that the teacher, I don't know what he's looking to my son. Maybe whether she want to, take over the mother of my child, my son. So framing a lot of things. So the story is too long, and I don't want to narrate everything, but all I know is that to be on the safe side, I want to advise everybody. So at the end of the day, Allah took over the issue matter, and at the end of the day, we won the case. They didn't know what to do again. Every time we fix meeting, from February to October, November, even the teacher was making things difficult. When we want to close the case, he will just try to, put obstacle to it, just to make sure that I don't know the teacher, but he tried to make things difficult, instigating my son. When he always tried to interview my son to just to get a negative things about the parents. But when we find out that the teacher is the one that, insinuating all this problem, making the problem more difficult, then we have to advise our son. And our son noticed that continue discussing this issue is just to selling the family to the teacher. So my child later got his senses back and stopped cooperating with the teacher. That's what makes the whole thing difficult for them to achieve their aims. And all this came to allow how we just started bringing the child and talking to him, getting close to him very, very well, based on the advice Allah was giving us. That's what make their aims and objective defeated. So at the end of it all, we won the case. And no, I don't want to mention a lot of, lies that we are, parading against us. But Allah was there to defend us. So at the end of the day, we won. Then they see that Save the Woman is there, and they don't have any other choice than to hands up. They have to hands up because they see that Allah knows what they know more than them. So they have to hands up on the case. And the case was closed on December last year. Even the case file, to close the case, they don't want to send us the copy of it. Until when I traveled to Nigeria and came back this January, I started asking them for it. Then Allah dropped a note to my wife. We send it to them. We send it one, they didn't bring back they say, oh, they forget about it, that this and that. So giving different excuses. I write them again, second time. Then they say, okay, that they will look into it. You close the case on December. Why not give us the copy of the case you closed up to that moment until the last week of February? Then they send it to me through email, a copy of the case that they have closed it. They even make an error, 2025. See how confused they are. So I still read them back and correct. I said, this case didn't happen 2025. We are still in February. And they are closing my case on December 2025 to show you how confused they are. Then they write it back. They write the email back and correct the date. So what I'm trying to advise people, because initially I said I don't want to go into the full details, that everybody should be very careful in this country concerning how you manage these teenagers in this country. Try to go to Save the Woman, and if you are new in this country, let them guide you, because a lot of terrible things are happening to different families in this country. People are going through a lot of difficulties and trauma. These people are not there to help, but they are there to destroy. So that's the only thing I can say. I want to thank Allah and Save the Women for all the good things they did. Even to the extent I wanted to intervene through Nigeria from one of my senators. So, but he just say I should exercise patience. Hence, a group the safe women have intervened. They don't know about them, but what they see that if the thing go beyond them, then they will intervene through the government of Nigeria. But at the end of it, unfortunately, my brother and a friend just passed away on 27th of July, 2024. So may his soul rest in peace. Senator Ifeanyi Oba. So before then, at the end of it, I think we came out victorious through Save the Woman. So what pains me most is didn't live today to witness, and what he promised me to do, voila, did not come to pass. So I advise anybody that came into this country to look for a help. Let people know what you are passing through. Speak out to people. If not because of Lady Jane, I couldn't have known about Save the Woman, and my child will be in the hands of social workers today. So I really thank God. I thank Save the Woman. I thank Allah. He always made time to be with us, guide us, follow the case from beginning to the end. That is the most important thing. Without contributing anything, without giving him any £1, but my joy is complete today because I'm here with my son. My family is now back as it is. So we thank God for them, and the Save Woman is doing a lot. People should encourage them. People should appreciate them, and people should go closer to them to know what this country law is all about. So that's what I can say for now. Thank you all, and God bless.
Thank you. I want to ask a question, and I want you to stress on that.
Yeah.
Social services, sorry, told you that your daughter said that word. If we didn't intervene in a way to ask social services to prove or to evidence what they mean by that and when was that happen, and they try to go over it, there are parents that they would have believed what they heard from the social services against their children, and that might even cause more problem, confusion between you and your children. Is it everything social services? Is it everything they said, the children said, parents should react on, or parents should rather ask for evidence of this rather than thinking the children are becoming rebellion or wayward? Because this daughter did not say this word. We've got a case in Darlington. We've got a case in Darlington that the son was crying that I never said this. But that was what they told you that the children said.
You are correct. You are correct. You are 100% correct. That's what I said. I think I mentioned it that my daughter was crying that you have never said such a thing. They are the one that framed her up and making such a thing. They are the one that said it, not my daughter. So if not because of God and the way we reason, it could have been another thing. That how can my daughter say that I'm a Nazist? And they put it in writing and they put it as a document and saying such a thing. So I say that when you bring up the matter, they dodge it. The chairman of this thing, I think they are head of the committee. He dodged it. She dodged the question when you brought the matter up until you started pushing for it. Then it shouldn't be the matter was was put on the table. They didn't want to bring it up again. But if you are not there, it could have been a thing to discuss. So some of them, that's why I say some of them are trying to bring confusion, but they are not helping the matters. Instead, they are causing more havoc to the family. That's what I said before. So it's terrible. It's terrible.
Thank you very much. So if anybody has a question, if you have anything, let me know. Drop a comment. So please don't be angry. Whatever you heard that they said your child said, it might not be the way your child said it. It might be something different entirely. Your child might not even said it in the way they mean it, they said it. And that will have caused evil division in your family. These children
That's
are
true.
innocent. They are
That's true.
innocent children. In fact, if that parent now say, my child is lying, my daughter is lying, they will not go back to that child, say, oh, your parents say you are lying. But if the parent said, could you please evidence what you are saying? Because I don't believe my daughter will ever say that. We didn't bring this child up in this way.
You are saying the truth. They frame a lot of things against the children
Always
and
be
say
a
that the
friend.
one said it. They frame all these
Always
things
be,
up.
always be a friend to your children. Be on the side of your children. Anybody want to say something? DM, DM Mentor, Esther, Collins, Priceless, Gold Mama, Oyedepo, Equality for Black. Thank you for coming up. We've been showcasing what we are seeing in the UK social services. Our major work is around child protection, safeguarding matter, providing advocacy training for families. And we move from one case study to the other. Today is about Stoke-on-Trent. We thank God the case has now been closed. However, it's not an easy journey. A lot of family are going through distress and is telling on their mental health, it's telling on their well-being. Many of them have lost their job, they've lost a lot in this country, yet they are not getting the right support, they are not getting the fair hearing. Intervention is causing more havoc rather than the main purpose of social welfare, which is which is to promote, support the welfare, well-being of a child to thrive at home. They are not working towards children thriving at home. They're rather working towards removing children into care. And when they are in that care, would they get the support? Would they get the help? They are not getting that help. Because removing children should be an expectation that people will get better support, more than the necessary care they will have gotten from their birth parents. But if you are removing them and they are not getting same support, what's the point? Research suggests removing children should be a last resort. Price, let's go. Good evening, Mama.
Yeah. Yeah. How are you today?
I'm fine, and you, Mama?
I'm good, thank you. I, it's not in line with what you're saying, but it's kind of related. There's this lady that recently, I know this person very well, and recently, I think just last week or 2 weeks ago, she had to move back to her base. I don't know if I should just be open about. She's from EU country, European country.
Okay.
And so she moved down to this place about 2 years ago. 2 years. Her husband was here first, and then she joined 2 years ago. Do you know that 2 weeks ago this woman had to run with her 3 children? The first one is about 7 years, if I'm not mistaken, and the child went to school to say that the parents, the both parents are beating him. is a child of 7 years who should still be in primary school. And so I think, I don't know if they are trying to help in disguise, like, but when they told the parent that this is what your child said, and the parent said there's nothing like that never happened. And so the social workers and they volunteered to say, okay, if we feel maybe you're a little bit stressed and we want to help you, we want to give you an option to learn some online courses with your husband. But unfortunately, and which I don't even know, I'm going to ask that question. I'm going to throw it to you as a question.
Okay.
But let me narrate what happened first. So, and the husband in question was already having some issues, personal issues, of which his DBS has been seized from him. And so he had to relocate from here, Manchester here, to another, I think to Scotland or so, to look for a job. And so at the point where they now said, okay, we need to prefer online courses for you and your husband, and we don't want one person, one of the parents, to take this course. We want both of you. And the man now has to tell the wife that they are about to take our children away, or that if anything happens. So the man himself now is away from in another country, Scotland. And so he left the woman here, and the woman could not have taken the course alone that they wanted her to take. So, and the man had put that threat by himself now to the woman. You know what this woman just did? Like, these are children that I see every time, and the man was always coming to talk about, how these children, how since when they got here 2-3 years ago, how they've changed. They can now understand English. When you're coming from some of these European countries where they don't speak English at all, it's not even like coming from the Netherlands where you speak English. But here, this very particular country they are from, they don't even speak English, and these children have started picking up and everything. So the woman just went back in fear. Now I want to ask, do you think the help they were trying to proffer to these people, that it was a genuine help? Is a question now to you. And do you think the woman did the right thing? At least they are European citizens, so she decided to let me go back to base, because I think they moved down here when was the last moment of Brexit. That was when they decided to come over here. But it's like their life is in I don't know if So my question now is that, do you think that they could have rendered help genuinely to them, or do you think what the decision the woman decided to take was a good one?
Thank you for that question. What I normally tell people is this: you have a reason for migrating here. You shouldn't, because of challenges like this and because of fear, and run back or left with your kids. You have a reason. The best thing would have been seeking for support. In honest way, these people, they might want to help genuinely, but you cannot predict. Because getting involved with you, they will still need to come around, keep asking things, going to the kids, keep asking things. And the reason why they are asking is to make sure they rule out if that thing is existing or is happening or not. And to be rest assured that there won't be something like that, and there's got engagement. First thing they did wrong was, this course is online. It doesn't cost family anything. Even if the husband is in another country.
But do you think it was true that the course was going to be? Do you think it was true that it was just going to be an honest course online? I don't know, because I don't know what their fear was.
It could be. Some people, like we got referral that, oh, this family are going through this, or this is the reason why we are getting involved. We would like this family to take this course. We provide course online as well. And after they complete it, we confirm to the council that, yeah, they've completed this course, and the social services, social worker allocated might just go around for few questions, 1 or 2 times like that. After assessment, they will say they have put uh, safety in place, like safeguarding measure.
Yeah.
One thing they will consider is, when did they migrate to this country? How much of knowledge do they have about the law of the land? But our advice is, don't go through this journey alone with them. Because if they find out that you are isolated, you do not have support network, it can be an advantage on their side. But once they know that you are not alone, forget it. They will try as much as possible to be professional. One thing now, the father that go to where you mentioned, if he already had issues on his DBS, they will do PVG over there as well, which is DBS as well. Hopefully, they won't get that information. But if they got that information, they will still trace it back.
Me, I'm even thinking in my own.
You don't run away from a problem.
They will not even contact. Are you sure they won't contact Italian government to say these people, because they should have Italian
government have their own law as well, and they have their own threshold. They might reach out to them and do their own assessment and say it doesn't worth it. It doesn't work. No, if they reach out, that does not mean they will take an action. They will rather assess them on their own as well, using their own templates.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's still another.
That is why I said you don't run away from this kind of a thing. Running away is not a solution, because you have your reason for coming in the first instance. Even the way you mentioned now is one of the areas that people are already aware that they need to seek for support. Manchester is a well-known area. We even got referral from Manchester Council as well. If they have seek help, we wouldn't have advised them, because if the case has not opened, you can move. But because they have opened a case, you already have something. Now, just imagine they now put it on a radar. If they decide to come back again, something that happened in another local authority, before they will act anything in local authority, they first check whether they are known to the system in that council. If they say no, they will look for their records where they have lived before. They will send to those areas to also do checks. This is why the system is even using a safeguarding hub unit, one unit together, including the home office. All of them are using the same thing.
It's a pity. I just feel for the little children, because they were already progressing academically.
The parents know the reason why they move over here. They shouldn't do because of that.
I think their fear was.
We need to. That is why we are letting people understand that getting involved with you does not mean they will remove your children. Even if they remove your children, you will get your children back. It might take time.
Maybe if I had known, but I wasn't told directly until the final decision when she was moving out. Maybe I would have even related it to you, because I have your WhatsApp number. Maybe I would have related. Maybe you would have been able to talk some senses into them, because for me, I just feel like you just brought these children just barely 3 years, and now you've taken them back. They're going to start again. I mean, when I heard the one of the children, when I think 2 weeks ago, I just heard him when he spoke. I was like, wow, who is having this Manchester accent? I was already in love with, because these children, they can easily adapt, and I just feel like you're just taking these children back again. When they come, it was hard for them to hear come, and now they just took them back. But I understand her fear. She had these children a bit not in her early days, so I think she's just like children that I just had at my almost my old age, and I wouldn't want anything to happen. Maybe that was their fear anyway. So
and one thing is this: are you even sure that they disclose everything that happens to you? Because our way of working is, you will tell us what happened, But until we get involved with the system, until we attend with the professional with their meetings, that is where we will be able to have a full knowledge of what happened. And through that, we'll be able to advise and to see how best to support the family.
Do you think they can join she could join her husband at the other place I just mentioned now? Maybe after a while they've settled that.
I've told you, I think I've answered you that if anything happened, they will have to get full record of where they have lived before, and they need to do checks if anything has happened there or not. And because a lot of people will commit crime somewhere and they will move to other places, and this is essence of DBS, this is essence of PVG, to make sure people are not being exposed to risk or harm, you know. But what stopped them from learning? What stopped them from taking the lesson?
Yeah, but because they said it was supposed to be for, I mean, the couple.
It's good for both couples to be on the same page.
The other one has jackpot.
It's good for it's good for them. If they prioritize the welfare, well-being, safety of their children, they wouldn't have run away. The system already knows that many people might be newly to the environment, they might not have the knowledge of the system, so they want to educate people, because this is what we are advocating for. Give people opportunity to learn, because there is a research that says taking them, removing the children is not helpful. You know, it's not helpful.
Are you looking at it in another way of? I'm not trying to bring this angle, but that makes me feel like African men, they have what they prioritize, because he is just like, I want to go look for a job. I mean, like the lady's maid, I think from the whole thing, so I wouldn't want to drop everything here. The lady is maid, she's not here new, like generally in Europe. And he is a bit not too long here. So maybe he's seeing life in a different perspective. Like, well, you've been here for a long time. You are self-made to some extent, and don't use your own to come and destruct my own journey. I think it acted selfishly, you know, if that's the way I'm saying, because the lady in question was willing to. I
wouldn't try to go deep into that conversation, because this family, they are not here. We don't know what's happening. We don't know. We can't presume what could have happened. We don't know what's been going on. So you understand what I mean? So I wouldn't want to go into that conversation like that, you know. Oh, our guest on Zoom, are you still there? Stoke-on-Trent. Stoke-on-Trent on Zoom, are you still there? I'm not sure whether it's still there. So I would like to say thank you for coming around to share your experience. You forgot to mention something. Stoke-on-Trent, are you there?
Yes, I'm still around.
Hello, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
You have, how many social workers did you have? I can hear you. How many social workers did you have throughout the period, and were you able to see any good practice from the social workers?
The first one was not something to write home about, but the second one, through your intervention, you wanted to, you know, join them to do the negative things they normally do. But when you through your intervention, then you have to change and cooperate with us. That's make things easy at the end of the day. There are two. The last one is okay, I can say. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me, Ola? Can you hear me? Hello?
Oh, thank you. You have seen. Yeah, hello, we can hear you.
Okay, I said that the first one was not good at all.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, the first one was not good at all, but the second one going the same way. But when you intervene,
yes, we can
then
hear you. We can hear. We can hear
yeah,
you.
when you intervene, then he
we
changed.
can hear you.
Okay.
So Eddie,
the second one cooperate with us through your intervention, but the first one was trying to mess everything up. So, but at the end, everything come to normal. Are you hearing me? Hello?
those of you on TikTok, can you still hear us? Network is a little bit.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, the network is fluctuating. The network is fluctuating. We've lost our guest on from Stoke-on-Trent. If you want us to talk about your local authority, if you have any concern, if you want to share your experience, please reach out to us. It's about educating, enlightening family, and also to make sure that the professionals are also doing the right thing. They are doing the right thing. They are getting paid, so we shouldn't be the one telling them what to do. We shouldn't be the one telling them what to do. Durham, we are waiting for Durham. We want to wait until on the anything from 28th of this month. We should be able to be thinking of coming to Durham. Yes. Anything from 28th of this month.
Yeah, I have the story, and I need some support as well, because my brother is having some issues regarding to social worker. This is my first time of seeing this platform. I just stumbled on it, so I just decided to stay and listen to what is happening. Yeah, the story happens like this. My brother came into the country in about 2 years now. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, my brother came into this country about 2 years ago, and he came in with his family of 3. A family of 5, which is he have 3 kids, and his wife and himself. So the children finish primary year, they enter secondary school, and during their second term in the secondary school, the children started kind of misbehaving. The first one went to school and told the teacher that his parents beat him, and social worker came to the house. They do their investigation, and that happened. I think that was something October, November, thereabout. They do all their investigation, and at the end of it, the case was closed by January, and they gave in the report. He was snapped the report and sent to me, and my brother actually went through stress during that period. After the case was closed, in January this year, the second one went into school as well and report again that the parents beat him. Meanwhile, according to them, they said they never did, because he doesn't know where all those stuff is coming from, but he doesn't beat them. So now they assign another social worker to the family. The investigation is still going on. 2 days ago, thereabout, he called me that the social worker called him that they have done all their investigation, but they are going to close the case. They didn't really see anything significant. They are going to close the case, but the first one happened, and the second one happened, and they denied that nothing happened, but not that they see any evidence anyway. But by doing so, because my brother is not working at the moment, it's only the wife that is working, and the social worker suggested that then he need to apply for support, and the kind of support, maybe my brother now asking what kind of support. He said maybe housing support, because according to him, my brother, he said his income is not enough to take care of family, whatever or whatsoever, because he is not working. And my brother said no, he doesn't have access to public fund because he came in as a student. Does he have access to public funds? And he said if not houses, maybe food bank, those stuff, and just general support for children welfare whatsoever. And my brother said he don't want it because definitely if those support is coming in, which means social worker will always be in touch with them, still continue asking children or whatever, because according to my brother, he said one of his neighbor is always putting him in trouble. Even when this case was going on, he said his neighbor called the council as well that one of the last child, which is about 4 to 5 years thereabout, he's always cry in the morning. So that was still put into the investigation. They go into the school, they ask the children what was happening. These children, the other 2 children told the social worker what happened. So just conclude it, because it was a very long story. To short the story short, so they told him that go to write a report at the end of maybe before the end of this week. They are going to close case, but my brother should call them back this week, Monday or Tuesday, if he wants this support or not. So I'm just trying to ask, did you think my brother should do that, or he should just let them be on their own, that he doesn't need the support? Because my brother, the truth, I know that he actually needs support in one way or the other, because they are not really anywhere at the moment.
Thank you very much. Lapis, Mama.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. How are you? Thank you for having me. So I was just passing by and I saw your the program. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm a social worker, and I've been a social worker for 25 years. And I've been working in safeguarding child protection. I know having social workers in our lives can be really, really stressful. Okay, I just want you to know that I'm aware of that. I know that. Not all social workers are doing a great job. Some of us, some social workers, they're, like lousy social workers, because they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing in terms of discharging duties and responsibility, which can create unnecessary stress for families. So I just want to say that, get that across to people. So, Mr. Etela, I'm just going to summarize what I had you just said. So your brother, 3 kids, they're teenagers now. They came into the country. There was an allegation of physical abuse. Yeah. So the case was closed because social services couldn't find evidence, because there were no physical evidence, So maybe it was the children's words against your brother. So there were no physical evidence. But as part of the investigation, because there's something called assessment, core assessment that we complete. Yeah. So maybe they found that the housing, was inadequate.
Yes.
I don't know, with 3 kids, I don't know the number of bedrooms they live in. So maybe they deemed the housing condition.
According to him, their houses are living in a very comfortable house. The reason why they were kind of want to relocate from the apartment because of the neighbor.
So what is your brother's definition of comfortability? So you got to be careful because they're teenagers. I don't know if they're the same gender. So all that, will be considered. It's all part of the assessment consideration. Now they're saying, that okay, we didn't have any evidence to substantiate the allegation of physical abuse, but we notice or we observe that you benefit from support, additional support, and housing was identified. Yeah. So there are two ways. Okay, this is just my own opinion. And it depends from local authority to local authorities, right?
Yes.
If your brother turn around and say no, okay, that is non-engagement with support. And it carries a lot of weight. If you decide and say, I don't want your support, I'm okay. That's non-engagement with support, unless it can prove or identify or demonstrate to them that the support that you identified, I've already found a solution to the problem. That's one. Secondly, if you decide to engage with them, that's fine. Because if you say no, social services will still be on your case. Okay? They will still be there. And if you decide to say yes, okay, all right, because they've reduced the case now from section 47, which is child protection, to I think it's now section 17, which is child in need. Okay?
Yes.
They've reduced it. So I will strongly, I'm not going to force it, but I will strongly encourage your brother to engage with them, okay? To embrace that support, but it has to make sure everything is signed, there's written agreement, everything. If it has a solicitor, then, it needs to seek legal advice around that. My advice is you should embrace and support it, and embrace the support they're offering him. And if you decide and choose not to, there is no guarantee that the social workers will not come back. Okay, don't forget, it's not just about the social services, okay? And I keep telling people we don't work in isolation. We rely on information from others. Your children's with medical people like nurses and the doctors and all that. Your neighbors, your family members, everyone. Okay? So the children will, the school, they will continue to monitor your children, the children. So that's just my own advice for him.
Thank you.
Sorry. Can I come in afterwards, please? Can I come in afterwards?
Yes.
It's Naomi from Equality for Black Nurses.
Go ahead, Quality. Go ahead.
No, I just wondered if anybody had questions for the ladies. I don't want to sound rude interjecting after she gave.
Dinky, have a question. Sorry, Dinky, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, please. I wanted to ask if you can decline child in need support. Like in my own case, I've come here before to talk about it. My baby dad is trying to. Is it denied? No, he's not denying the child, but he's saying he doesn't want to be involved in the child's life. And I think social service has maybe his past history of maybe having another child with somebody, because they had that conversation with me asking about his older child. I really don't know. But I know he's involved with the child because we used to have every other weekend.
Right.
When we're living together. And we're meant to get married about last month, but I had to go out because of domestic abuse, which made me have safeguarding case.
Right.
The safeguarding case, before Christmas, social service told me they were going to close my safeguarding case.
Right.
It rang me again January to tell me they will not close my case because they feel I will struggle after having the baby on my own, because I'm an immigrant and he's British, but of course he already said he doesn't want to be involved in the child. So I was thinking, what's my chances? How do I do that? How do I get support? Without stress and all that. And it's really a big issue for me. How to sort out my child, to make sure that my child is safe and secure. Maybe to get a British passport, for me to be sure that, okay, fine, she's going to be helped. I need to not sort of affect my own settlement. Because I don't want the type of visa I'm on to sort of be like, okay, fine, but you don't have access to public funds, so why are you doing this?
Okay. Yeah. Do you want me to answer you? I mean, you raised so many things in your submission. Thank you very much. The first thing I would say to you, if you're not doing it yet, okay? Courts and social. I would say the court, they work on evidence. If you haven't got a notebook, go and get one now. You have to make a note of everything, date and time. whoever you're speaking to in social services or you're involved with in social services. That's one. So that's for your record. So when it comes to the time that you need to use that evidence, you're not going to come up with, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. It doesn't work like that. Okay. Everything is based on facts. So that's just one advice I'm going to give you. Yes, your ex or I don't know if your ex is an ex. If it's if any offense, he has committed any offense against a vulnerable person or minor, and it's on the register, the Schedule 1 register, and that is going to create problems for you if you're still involved with him. Like I said, if you're still having contact or involved with him. Sometimes we've had situations where parents turn around and say to us, we don't have anything to do with each other, and your neighbors, and they will give us the evidence. Your family members, there are ways they can find out. Some of you are living in in a block of flats you don't know, you're not aware there's camera everywhere. If we want that information, we can get it. Just to prove that maybe you're still having contact. In your situation, I'm not saying you're doing it. I'm not suggesting.
No, I'm not, because they will block me everywhere, and he's trying to play this mental case issues to social service that has a background of mental illness.
That is very stressful. Okay, going back to your question. So now what they're saying is, okay, because you're now pregnant, which means you're vulnerable, that's you're in the category of vulnerable people. You're pregnant, and they say, no, we don't think you can manage this pregnancy on your own. You need support. My sister, why don't you want to embrace support? Why don't you?
They didn't even give me the support. Like when I needed the support, when I first moved out, I was still trying to struggle to get a place. None of that support came because they were like, I don't have access to public funds.
Okay. But that has got nothing to do with social services. Social service doesn't come under that category. Forget it.
Okay.
Okay? We have duties and responsibility to safeguard and protect children. Okay. And we need to we're responsible for ensuring and providing support for children in need. So it has nothing to do with your immigration. Forget about that. Okay, it's got nothing to do with your immigration status. We don't deal with that. You don't look at that. You focus on the safety and well-being of that child. That is your focus, regardless. Yeah. Okay, so that is what we're facing. That's what we focus on. So with regards to your situation, what does that support looks like? So you have to ask them, what does that mean? You're telling me you want to support. What does it look like? Define it for me. Because that would be an informed decision for you, right? Yeah. What does support looks like? Okay, are you going to send me to jail and you want me to view that as as a support? So ask them, what does that look like? And is this something that you think that you need, and they need to justify the reason that they're offering you that support?
Because the last time, the only thing they told me, okay, is the ones come and question me about child in need, and that was it. And that was the last thing I heard from her, nothing else, which is about a month.
It was child in need. In your situation, it's about unborn child, right?
Yes.
It's unborn child. Your child is not subject to, the unborn child is not subject to child protection plan or anything, right?
Yes.
Is it? If you're free to reveal it, and I don't know, if it's not something that you want to talk about,
No, I don't get that. I don't get that.
Okay, so there are times if you're worried about your partner, and because maybe there is evidence to suggest that you're still having contact with a partner, by doing so will subject your unborn child to on safeguarding issues of concern or can impact their well-being, then they can call a case conference. And depending on the outcome, that unborn child name will be on the register. Register at risk, children at risk. But you will know. It's not going to come as a surprise to you. You would know if it's something that's been done.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, you would know. They will tell you because you'll be part of the case conference anyway. So it's not something that will come as a surprise to you. So if I were you, ask what that you're telling me is child in need, which is section 17. If it's section 17, that's fine. Just ask, what does that support looks like? You need to know the definition. What does it look like? The child in need. What does that support looks like? What sort of support are you offering me? Is it for myself or for my unborn baby?
And again, for the child she just texted me randomly that if I'm happy, can I send out my budget for a month, like my monthly budget? And I was like, I don't have a fixed monthly budget, so I've not responded to that text yet.
So they want to do a financial assessment. Don't respond to text message. Tell her you have an email, address, okay? Yes. Ask your social worker to communicate with you via email. That's so unprofessional, because that's confidential information. She shouldn't be texting you. She shouldn't be doing that on the text message. It's confidential. So you can do that through email where they can encrypt the email. Okay? So be clear about your right, be clear about what you want. You can challenge them constructively, and say, what does that support looks like? I want to know. I would encourage you, I always say to people, work with your social work. I don't work against them, but be guided at the same time. Okay? I know your rights. Yeah.
Just to add to what you mentioned now for Itela TV. Are you still there?
I'm here.
No, not you. Itela TV, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Now, with what Lapis mentioned now, is very clear. The support they were thinking or presuming for your brother is for housing. And once that is documented, that housing support, if they give them a benefit of doubt and say, yeah, that's fine if it's housing, if they need it, if otherwise it's going on that way around, it's not showing, they are not going towards that, there's nothing that relates to that, there's something different coming up. Do you understand what I mean? But let them open mind to say, okay, if that's fine, because it will form part of the report assessment the person needs to submit. Even if they are going to close the case, it will be there that they are going to support with housing.
Okay, what is actually scared of is because of this public fund issue, because it says it doesn't have anything to affect his immigration status because he doesn't have access to the public fund.
The assessment, the assessment will be detailed. It will be detailed in the assessment that they already declared they are not. And if Section 17 child in need is what they are providing, they will be detailed it. Even if Home Office come up in future, they have a report. They have copy of assessment. Lapis.
No, it's not going to go. It's not something that will go against their immigration application or immigration status. We have duty of care.
It's for the children. It's because of the children involved. It's because of children involved, not even for the parents. It's basically because of children involved. If Dinky is not pregnant, there's nothing they want to do with her. It's a civil matter. If she doesn't have anything with her, if she has anything with her partner, but because there's an unborn child, that's why they even get involved.
Tell your brother not to worry. I know when people hear social worker, the first thing that comes to their mind is negative. There are good social workers there, and they mean very well. Honestly, I'm not saying it because I'm a social worker. There are good social workers that they want things to be better for you. They're there to enable and empower you, to give you the support that you need. Because your brother migrated from another country. It's not easy. Migrating from another country to UK, there is going to be a lot of adjustment, especially you guys bringing your children. They're going through this transitional period, from being, toddler, young adult, and to teenagers, and to adult. It's not easy at all. I always advise people, social workers have powers, okay, because those powers are given to them by the government and the court. When you're in court, the judge will listen to the social worker because they believe they're experts in that area. But make sure, I'm sorry, I'm a mother and I wouldn't want social worker in my life. I love my job. I am so passionate about my job and everything. I wouldn't want a social worker in my life because it's not an easy thing to go through. I know that. So you have to make sure, like I say to Dinky, make sure you haven't got a note, like a notepad now. Make sure you have it. Know your rights. Those social workers should be testing you. Send me your details via text. No,
I didn't. I just refused. No. I just don't know why I was like, no.
Just say, send me an email to confirm this. Please send me this in an email.
I think I'll have to mail that to her because after when I sent her the text that I don't know the actual amount I spend every month, she didn't respond to it.
The silence is not even good. And let's be open and honest because we take social media access to
the last thing That's the last thing I've heard.
If you respond,
about contacting my ex-partner, about contacting my ex-partner, the first time she told she was like, sorry, we couldn't contact him. And the last time I spoke with her, that she was that was I think early January or thereabout. Yeah. That was when I asked her again that, please, have you been able to contact my ex-partner now? And now then she was like, oh yes, we've been able to contact him, and he said he doesn't want to be involved in the child's life.
That's okay. That's his own fundamental human right. But you can take him to court, to make sure he discharges duties and responsibility if you want to.
Yeah, and I was like, the social worker I even have, like, I don't even know, like, I just feel, okay, fine, you're not even handling my case properly, if I'm being honest, because she will not ask you for anything, she will not ask you for maybe any details, she will not ask you for any evidence. Even when I was telling her that this person proposed to me, this person asked me to marry him, I didn't just get pregnant out of the moon and everything, and she will not even ask. Nothing.
You know why? Let me tell you, for people that are listening, okay, child protection is the most difficult safeguarding of children, of social work practice for children and family. In order for you to be able to, to discharge that duties and responsibilities confidently, successfully, and efficiently, you need at least 5 years of experience. 5 years is even, I'm talking about at least, 6-7 years experience on that. Is the most difficult aspect of social work. Very, very difficult. But now, because they're short of social workers, people coming out of university, they're newly qualified, and then, they're asking them, they're working as safeguarding social workers with no experience. This is why we have flaws in the system.
It was terrible during COVID. They didn't even complete the normal time to complete the study. They were just pushing them out during COVID.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like
during a period, we went through
from my training. Like I'm not like after sending me the text of, am I happy to send out my monthly budget? That was the last thing I heard from her. Nothing else.
Did you have an email address? Did you have an email address? Did you have an email address at all?
Yes, I do.
Anytime she send you message on text message, you just go to email. Regarding following your WhatsApp message or text message, blah 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 blah. Ask whatever you want to ask through email. If you do it,
I was thinking maybe I should mail again. I was thinking maybe I should mail again tomorrow. You mentioned child you need to me. You mentioned me. You mentioned.
Let's talk before you email her. Okay.
All right.
Let us talk before you email.
Okay.
But you can seek legal advice around this. Seek legal advice. People will guide you and provide, some support and guidance around.
Okay, Equality for Black is back. Equality for Black is back. Did anybody want to talk on the platform? Mother, Esther, K, Etila, is your question answered? So if your brother needs further support, he can message us, we can discuss. And if you need a legal representation, we can make a referral. But there's nothing to worry about his case, honestly speaking. There's nothing to worry.
They just need to embrace and engage with support.
Yes, there's nothing to worry about. Please, if you are satisfied, can I take you down and bring Equality for Black nurses, please? All right. If you still have any question, please put it in the comment section, or you can ask us to bring you up again. Those in the box, please, if you want to say something, we need to know. Equality for Black, you can come up again. Those of you in the box, let's give us 5 minutes. If you want to talk, please, we need to talk so that we'll bring other people in the comment section. Lapis, thank you so much for. No, we need professional in the house, so I beg. We need professional in the house. We've got more professionals that are coming as well from camps, from school. If they're around, I'll also bring them up. They normally come around. Equality for Black nurses.
Hi. So I was listening to the guy that was saying that the reception
social workers take advantage of the new immigrant because they know that they don't know anything much.
Who is talking? Who is talking? Who is talking? I can't see the person.
Oh. Good luck.
I can't see the person either.
Good life.
What's going on? Sorry, equality for nurses.
Good life. Hold on, please. Let equality for nurses finish. Good life. The person is beside you, like, please. Hold on. Equality.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yeah, we can hear you. Equality.
Yeah. So what I was quite interested in the guy that was debating whether or not he should be working with social services, and also somebody else like wanting to know about working with social services. But I think the problem that we've got in the UK is that especially people that are coming from Africa, they're probably not aware, but there is bias, discrimination and disparities in UK social services, especially the children's department, and there's disparities in how they engage with Black, Asians and other ethnic minorities. And there's lots of studies and reports that show that systemic racism and cultural misunderstandings, and there's often a disproportionate focus on surveillance rather than support for certain communities. And Black children are overrepresented in the UK's child protection system, despite no evidence that they experience higher levels of neglect or abuse than white children. So I think that any Black person that needs to have any involvement with social services should do that with caution, because there's even studies. There was a study by the University of Lancaster that found that Black children and mixed heritage children were more likely to be taken into care than white children, and also gypsy children. So these are the kind of things. Black families are often pathologized, meaning their parenting styles are misunderstood and framed as problematic. And the cultural differences. There is cultural differences in discipline and also extended family involvement, and parenting practices are often misinterpreted as neglect or abuse. So like I said, I run Equality for Black Nurses, where we support nurses who are facing discrimination with the NMC and within the NHS. But we've also seen many of our nurses also being involved with children's services. And because they don't know their rights, the outcome is usually very poor. And that is because of cultural differences. And social services don't take that into account either. So I just was wanting to say, I know that you've got a social worker here who says that she's been in the service for 20 or 25 years, but her experience is going to be different to the average person's experience. She may or may not see it, and I don't want to tread on your toes, but even if you do see it, there's nothing you can do about it, because the system that you're working within will not allow you to do anything about it. And if you did try and talk it out, you could also be victimized for that. So I would, I'm not anti social services, but I just think it's important that Black people know that if you're Black, an ethnic minority, or even if you live in a poor area with high social services involvement, you're going to get increasing surveillance. And Black families are often approached with suspicion rather than support, and there's documentation to support that.
Thank you for that input. Thank you so much. Obviously, we know sometimes it happens, and unfortunately, the social care, they've got two models: care and control, and every practice are different. Every area, sometimes they are different. Thank you so much for that, and that is why we always come around to let people know their rights, and to also seek for support. People there's this a woman, I don't know whether you've listened to one of the video. We've got some of this video on our YouTube channel, that she was talking. Nobody's listening. They weren't listening to me. They were just kind of, I don't know whether they don't understand me or They don't know where I'm coming from. They don't even take a time to even listen to the children, to understand their different, their needs, their everybody. And there are a lot of pressure outside as well. And family are going through a lot. So many parents, many family, they even need support, but they are not sure will they get that support. That's the concern. That's the fear and that's what leads to mistrust to some level. And with what you mentioned, when we started around this area of child protection safeguarding, a member of parliament helped us to seek a data from the local authority we started from, and it was revealed that it is 4 times more likely to take African child to care compared to white British, and it is 3 times more likely to take African children to care compared to other ethnic minority, which is accurate with what you just mentioned now. And in line with what you said, most of frontline social worker or uh, ethnic minority, even in the system, if they want to speak up, if they want to say this is not right, wrong is wrong, if everyone is doing it, or right is right, if no one is doing it, they might be victimized. Yeah, there's a report that suggests or supports that one is it 7 in 10 black social worker face discrimination at workplace from their colleagues, and the leadership as well are not really supporting, and they subject them to more disciplinary action compared to yeah. We just need, that's why we are trying to
equality.
Go ahead, Mama.
Yeah, equality for, is it for black nurses?
Yes,
so
yes.
I thank you for the wonderful job that you're doing in the community. I think that needs to be recognized. I'm sure you know, I'm a black person, then we've all had our share of discrimination, regardless of whether you work in social services or, even in the community, our children in school. Discrimination is everywhere, and it's of different folds. You have indirect and direct discriminations as well. And like you rightly said, the host rightly said, being a black social worker, I was one of, I qualified 25 years old. We didn't have that many black social workers there, but now we've got so many black, African social workers. When I see that, when I look at it and see the number of social workers, the black social workers now, it's very reassuring for me, because there is some aspect that we talk about knowing the culture, understanding the culture, that so you don't misinterpret, the culture. You need to understand it. It's very, very important. So during my days, the early days, we didn't have that many, but now we have loads. I've had my own share of being privileged, even in leadership. Because, being a social work, manager in child protection, safeguarding, it's not easy. Because you have to sign so many assessments. You're in court all the time. You're in and out of court. And what is normal for the other race is they will make it something unusual for you, which is usual. If it's something that is usual for them, they will make it unusual for you. So we've had our own share as well. Yes, I agree with you. Let me tell you what the problem in the social care system. I would say, when you're talking about social services, it has so many branches. We have child in need, child protection team, you have living care, you have so many, you have the adoption, you have fostering, you have so many, you have living there, look after children. So many branches in there. But the most popular one, that everyone talked about is the safeguarding the child protection team or the duty team, sometimes. The problem that we have is we're short of staff, experienced staff, and this is across the country. It's not just limited to London, even all over the world. I have friends that practice social work in America and in other parts of Europe as well. They're short of social workers because nobody wants to do the job, especially with child protection. It's stressful. It's a very stressful job. Nobody wants to do it. And it's not a lucrative job. You don't get that. You'll never be, you can never be rich as a social worker. If you stay in social work, you'll never be a millionaire. You know, it's not a job that is lucrative, and it's very stressful. It's a very, very stressful job. So nobody wants to, work in child protection. So that's one of the problems that we have. The caseload as well, heavy caseloads. I mean, I say to people, if you have someone looking after 2 children and another person caring for 9 children, you can tell the difference in the quality of care. The person looking after 2 children will be able to do it better than the person looking after 9 children. That is a simple maths. And the cases that we work with complex, the cases that we work with every day, they're complex cases. That's another problem that we have. The other thing is about the policies and procedures. The policies sometimes, it's not very, very clear. It's open to so many interpretations sometimes. The policy is so many interpretations. There is a lot of holes and flaws in the policies and procedures. So we have the national one and you have the local one. The local authorities will come up with their own policies and procedures. So there's so many other stuff, going on. I hear what you say, and I'm not going to say, no, it doesn't. Yes, that exists, So what are we going to do about it? So that's the problem. We've identified problems, but we're not just going to dwell on the problem. So what are we going to do about it? And it's a joint effort. So we have to think about that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Equality for Black Nurses, thank you so much for the amazing work you are doing. Especially these nurses, Nigerian nurses, that issue of CBT. It has destroyed a lot of many lives. It has caused a lot of havoc to many children's life. And we don't know why NMC is not carrying out risk assessment to know the impact of their decision. And the delay in handling this matter, the delay has caused a lot of issues. And many of them are receiving letters from the Home Office now. It's a big challenge.
Yeah, if you have any of those nurses that are being issued letters from the Home Office, please send them our way, because we're doing some work currently. So please send them to us, and we can support them.
I think, yeah, they are, some of them are with you. I've heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're doing a lot of work on that, but it's great work that you guys are doing as well. I think we have been trying to connect with you with regards to the case where you won in Manchester. Was it you? Sorry, go on.
Yeah, we took them to court. They were even threatening us with about £10,000 legal cost. I said, no problem, go ahead. At the end of the day, we won. They want us to drop.
Do you have access? Is the documentation online? Is it public at all?
They are yet to, and that's why we are trying to give them time. You know what I mean? We want
let's meet up. I don't want to eat into your time for your session you've got now.
Yeah.
But maybe we should catch up, because we've got quite a few live cases. So if there's any insights that we can get from yourselves to help strengthen our cases, I think we've got 2 cases going to the High Court. We've got a couple of appeals we're working on, and like I said, we do have quite a few nurses that are receiving letters from the Home Office. But we've done a recent blog. I don't know if you're aware of our website, Equality #4 Black Nurses. We've just done a recent blog about.
I haven't seen the blog. I will check. I will check that out.
Yeah, because that in itself, that is like it's a pathway to deport Black nurses. Employers are actually using the system to have Black nurses deported, and it's the same.
They've used them. They've used them already during COVID. They've done the job for them during pandemic. They believe there's no more.
That's why we was dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we was dying disproportionately, because while the white matrons and senior staff were sitting at home, they were sending us, the Black nurses, out on the front line to get killed by COVID. And because that didn't work, they're now trying different things. So it's like a pipeline to evict, to get us deported, because a lot of people see Black people, English people, white people, think that we're here to take their jobs. They accuse us of stealing their jobs. So when we do like great things, like become nurses, and we become really good nurses, we become targeted. And the employers know full well that if they sack them, it's going to affect their Tier 2 visa. And it starts off a system of sending them back home. And it's not, they do it thinking we're stupid. So it's done almost in a way that it looks covert, like, oh, we're following policy. But in fact, it's a deliberate way to get us deported out of this country, black nurses in particular. And like I said before, my views on the social services is a bit similar. They use practices, processes, policies to punish us, and they use them in a different way. It's a two-tier system. If you're white, you get a different outcome. You have a different experience to being a black nurse. But again, I don't want to eat too much into your time. I'll get my admin to email you, and we'll have a session. Like, if we can meet up ASAP, that'd be good.
That's fine. Thank you. Good life. Take a mic.
And anything. So I just want to say, if anybody knows any nurses, social workers, healthcare professionals that are having any problems in their place of work, they can find us on TikTok or our website, Equality #4 Black Nurses. Thank you. Sorry, that wasn't too much.
Thank you. Let's blow a trumpet for you. Good life. Hold a minute. Let's blow a trumpet. Good life. Take a mic, please.
Okay, actually, I was trying to commend the Lapis for being honest and also being here. And I pray that more of like her will be bold and brave enough to come help this community, because we need sincere and honest people who are in social service that can educate us, that can help us know our rights around social service and the children's safeguarding as family and individuals. Because this just like what's been said by Quality for Black nurses, and she herself understood also that when it comes to Black, the law is different. It's interpreted differently when it comes to Black involved in anything, whether in school or at home. As long as it's Black, it's different. When you see a child that is being well taken care of, and the child is not of any concern in school, you put eye on her because he or she is a Black child, and try to see how you can use the system to destabilize the family. That's what's going on around the Black family, especially the new immigrants. 2 years below, 1 year below, one way or the other, you think you're a good parent, think you're doing good, think you're doing well with your family, one way or the other, you find yourself in this mess. And because you don't know your way around, they'll play around you for as long as they want. If God is not on your side, you might lose your children. So I want to say a very big thank you to her again, and I pray that she will be coming to this life, and also have, if you have some more contact of other Black social services, if you can invite them to come to this platform and help educate the people. Education is key. Information is very good to growth. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Not like some of them, when we go for some of the Black meetings, just like Nigeria, you can know that some of them will come, they will know the truth, but because they love their master more than their home, they will try to tell you that your experience is not true, and it's heartbroken. It's traumatizing when someone is sharing his or her experience and you're saying it's not true. It can't happen. It's not what we do. But this is what this person has passed through in the hands of social services, and you are insisting that it can't be true. It hurts coming from your own person you are looking up to. I also want to say one thing some of them, when you see them, you'll be happy that they are of the same ethnic with you, but most of them work as more, they are more dangerous than the ones that are British. Because you will feel at home, open up with them, tell them things the way you should tell a brother, but she will use the hammer on you, or he will use the hammer on you because he's there for something different from what you think she is or he is. So thank you so much. God will bless you. Your years of experience, you will reap it. You might say that you don't get rich being a social worker, but you get rich being a good social worker. You will. Eternally and emotionally, you will. People, every family that come in contact with you, the prayers they are praying for you, that's a whole lot of wealth. Thank you so much.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Mommy Ben Biggs. Mommy Ben Biggs. Let's blow a trumpet. Tabasapa di mama con. We get one mama. The grandmother, the mama of mama, the matron of this platform, Ben Biggs. Take a mic, mama. Happy Sunday.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Sunday, and it's nice to listen to what Equality for Black Women was saying and what Lapis was saying. It's quite educative, and it's nice when people come on the board to share their experience. And following on those words of experience and courage and good life is being able to pick up things. So it's just the way the system is. It's not different from how Lapis and Equality for Black Women have explained. The system is the system. It's got different faces to the system. It's biased. There are prejudices. There are ways that you think maybe what I'm saying is not what they are saying, and there are difficulties in understanding diversity in cultures. So what is applicable in my culture, which I'm used to, which I'm brought up with, might not be what someone else will accept as part of culture in this country. So I would just say that social services will be there, and their policies is either it changes, but it's not going to be the policy that is going to suit us who live in the community. So it's just going to be there. I can only just say that let us just be extremely careful so that by the time they come up with, oh, you've done this, you've done that, you have a leg to stand on and you can prove that you haven't done it. So for us, the community, we would say, let's be careful. Let's seek for measures in being able to parent our children very well. The statistics is high, and I'm not sure if it's going to come down, but the way it is now, it's getting high. The few of us that work with social services, social workers, few blacks, we can't really have a big say in it, because then they come out with evidences that you think, oh, why did my person behave or do this to this child or do that to that child? So there's so much ways that we can avoid them having an evidence to use against us in terms of them taking our children. And if there's any social worker who is not having enough evidence, but just want to behave in a way that it's not professional and just want to behave in a way that will make the child to feel bad, will make the parents feel bad, and then impacting on their stay here, or just to rope them in, or just not to say, you know what, we'll keep this on a watch. This wouldn't get to child protection at this time. We would give you time to go and learn. We'll give you time to train. We'll observe the child. We'll pick up this. We'll pick up that. You know, it does help the child as well. It does help the parents. Then we do not have to go to court every day. So there's nothing that's going to change in social services. The policies will be there. What is said in the Children's Act will be there. Whatever it says in equality rights will be there. There's no difference. You can always know that you're not going to change your color. You're black, you're African, you're black, you're African. So they're not going to do anything to help you to change your color or change your heritage. But the only thing you can do as an individual, that I can do as an individual who lives in a community, is to be careful. Is how we do. My husband was sharing with me a couple of days ago about a child that they were, concerned. The black child. She's the only black one in her class. Okay, so easy to identify. So the school came up with so many things, and then they asked my husband to work with the family to help the child. The child is always scruffy to school, dirty to school. Her hair is unkempt. She steals other children's food. She doesn't eat. She doesn't bring pack lunch to school. So there's so many things that the school identified. Now the person who identified this obviously is not a black person. Okay. Now they've handed her over to my husband to support with the family and the child. Now my husband is working with the child. In 1-2 ways, little things are coming back because he spoke to the mom. But then the mom has not even made an attempt to change as little as buying the child lunchbox. The child brings the food in this Ziploc bag, sandwiches in a Ziploc bag, and put it in the bag. Now, when my husband spoke to the child, what do you want your mom to do? Oh, I want my mom to buy me a lunchbox. Please, is a lunchbox too expensive for a mom? Because my friends bring their food and they put it in a lunchbox and they open their lunchbox and they have so many things there. I want to have sandwiches there. I want to have this baby bell cheese there. So the child did mention everything. The child said, oh, this is what I eat all the time at home. And I want to eat. Now, as at Thursday or Friday, she was caught stealing another child's food. Now, if that child is getting to that extent, why would they not be thinking that that child should be on child protection? Now they've spoken to the mommy. This parent can afford it. This parent hits this child at home because the child has come to school to say, my mom eats me and my mommy beats me to wake me up in the morning. As soon as this child saw my husband in school on Friday, do you know what? And they say, oh, what happened? My mom was just effing this morning. She was just effing this morning because she couldn't use this full word. She was just effing this morning. Now, that was in the presence of my husband and another colleague. My husband is a school social worker. He has taken that on board. He needs to accept it. The child has disclosed that information. So my mom was just effing. He asked her, why was she effing this morning? Oh, because her car didn't start and she just came back and she was just effing up and she was just using different words, swearing. Now, the child has said the word effing. You're not meant to use those words with children. And she was using it for me and she was telling me off. And then now I still have my food in a Ziploc bag and not in a box. Tell me why you won't go further. That is it now. And then they've checked that there's no concerns with finances. It's just that this
Why are you guys making noise
chooses to abuse this child in so many ways. And then this child will say, you know what, Ben, I'll tell you, but don't tell my mom that I told you. That is the extent the child is being abused at home. So if we fix some things at home, then it doesn't get to social services. Children are more relaxed to speak to someone else because they feel safer from the perpetrator. So as part of a community, let us work in a way that doesn't nothing comes from the house that gets out. Let's fix the problem in the house. So that's just my take on that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Mama. And this is why.
I love this grandma. Thank you. You call her grandma. That's what I'm saying, grandma.
Mama, she's not a grandma. Oh. She's the mate. She's a young girl. She's a young girl. She's a young girl, matron of the house. She's the matron of the kingdom, mother-in-law. She's mother-in-law of all the queens. Exactly. Yoko, your kingdom, Yoko. Yes.
Let me just add very little thing to what you just said. Yes, you know what? Sometimes when I'm in meetings, our people, you talk too much. They will ask you A, you move from A to Z. Okay, stay focused. don't reveal too much information. Sometimes you've given them non-verbal communication signs. They're not even getting it. And your kids can talk. I can see Mr. Triple Hayes here, who's a teacher. Your children, they feel more comfortable talking to us, we strangers, because we're trained. We have the skill. We have the tool, the techniques that we can use to get information from your kids. We have it. We went to university from, most of us have master's degrees in that. You know, we have that. Your children talk too much. They talk. What the woman just said, that just spoken, just talk about. I can see two things in that case. There's one, neglect. There's emotional abuse. You know, double whammy in terms of the category of abuse. There's neglect. And because they can afford it, that's willful neglect. Willful. There's willful neglect. There's chronic neglect. Categories. You know? And somebody was talking earlier, just very quickly, that they say sometimes when you see our people, you feel comfortable. You thinking, and when you're immediately, you know, I can see the face, I can identify with. Some of you, etiquette, were into trouble. You've landed us in hot soup because we gave you things, tools, how to do things, what not to say, and eventually you stab us in the back. I've experienced that with my staff, Nigerian social workers, because they were being nice and kind to you guys. But sometimes, Jerry, why you know, it doesn't leave us sometimes. All right, let me just leave you.
Let me laugh. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Lapis. I always love to bring AAA when it is getting hot. So I want to use the opportunity to ask Keye again, backwards point. Have you got something to say? Mother Wood, I've got something to say. Anybody in the comment section? I've got something to say.
No, thank you.
Okay. Motherwood. And I want to put AAA in another very.
Let me tell you my experience with people. When you have social workers around, you know, let me tell you one thing. Social workers are your friends, honestly. I know you guys have had bad experiences and all that, you know, being human. Social workers, I mean, they don't know anything about you. Just look at it from this angle. Okay? They rely on information from other people. Your neighbors, like I said earlier, your family members, your children. You know, education settings, you know, like the teachers and all that. They bring that information to social workers. We don't go around and knocking at people. Did you feed your child today? Did your child go to school? We don't do that. You know, that information, they bring it to our doorstep. And that's when we open up a big investigation when it happens. You know, they know you know, when you see this, I mean, sometimes I don't like playing. I know racism is real. Okay, don't get me wrong. Racism is real, but we're going to be really careful when we play that race card sometimes. Okay, because I want people to understand the fact that when you're wrong, accept the fact that you are wrong. Own up. Don't play the race card. When you've made a mistake, please accept the fact that you've made a mistake. Don't say because they're punishing me, they're doing that, they're carrying out that investigation because I'm black. Please, that's not the way to educate our people. Okay? Racism is rude. I know that for sure. I've had my own share of that. I've experienced it myself. Okay? But let's be clear with our people. There are rules and regulations. When you are in Rome, you behave like Romans. If you're not happy or comfortable with the rules and regulations in your local authority or in the country, there are other options that you can use. And the white people will tell you, use the door. Okay, and there's so many things in that system I don't agree with, but I don't have a choice. I'm you know, that duties and responsibility. I have to, you know, they've given me that duties and to discharge it.
Can I say
and I don't agree with it all the time.
I'm not being funny, but listen, As a social worker, a black social worker, using the term race card, that's deeply problematic, and it suggests internalized bias or a deliberate attempt to dismiss racial disparities. The term race card is a gaslighting tactic that's used to silence discussions about racism, and it implies that those raising concerns about racism are being dishonest or manipulative. It's a fact. You cannot get away from the fact that black people get a different outcome throughout their social services process. You want people to trust social services.
You can't say
social workers want to be your friend. It doesn't happen like that.
No, you can't say all black people.
Even using the word race card, that is.
Can
I can't say all black people.
You heard my side of this. I said earlier, I've had my own share, and I told you, I said racism is real. I'm not saying it doesn't exist.
But if you've had your own share, then you wouldn't be saying what you're saying.
I have. This is my own experience.
No, but you're protecting the establishment because of your own job. You're protecting your position. But it doesn't. You know, you can't negate that black people have a. You're part of the system. That's why you're saying what you're saying. Because you're actually implying that racism is not real, or that
we're all part of the system. I'm not saying racism is not real.
It's a tool of dismissal. What you're saying is dismissing.
No, I didn't say racism is not real.
But then you need to apply it to your profession. Okay. Because social services enables a system that disproportionately harms black children. It harms black children and parents.
I wouldn't say that.
And we have this advantage in there. But you're implying it. You're saying, "Oh, I believe in racism. I've experienced." If you've experienced it and you've experienced it and you know it, you wouldn't be saying about. You wouldn't even be using the word race card because it's not a card. And the roots of that term is rooted in discrimination. Because if a gay person, if somebody is from the LGBT, you don't say, "Oh, why are you calling the gay card?" Or, you know, somebody Jewish that's facing anti-Semitism, you don't say, "Oh, you're playing the Jew card." The race card is steeped in racism, and it's used to gaslight black people. So I'm not. I just need to be clear that we get a different outcome. Black people go through social services, and our outcomes and the way we're treating is different.
Charles Wayne, I've got something to say.
Yeah. I'm just joining now. I just want to listen to what they're saying, then I can know what to contribute to you.
Okay.
I think this racism issue is everywhere. And it's not particular to a team or organization. It is everywhere. There is the difference between a black person and a white person. The thing that is not different is the policy is for both black and white. Now, the person or the professional who applies the policy can then choose to say, well, this is a black case, I'm going to go deeper. Or this is a white case, it doesn't need to go deeper. The personality of the professional that does any investigation is where we call the problem of being racist. But the system would not single and say this policy is for black person or for white person. If a black person does something with their children and abuse their children, now, would we say because he's a black person, I'm a white social worker, I have to deal with it that way? Like the example I gave earlier, my husband is a black guy. This child is a black guy. We're from different countries. However, this policy that my husband have to use is the same policy that the white manager would use. So I don't think it has anything. If he pass on the case to a white person, they will do the same thing, knowing well that social workers would have to respond back to a senior or will have to respond back to a team manager.
I'm sorry, but you just don't understand what institutional racism is if you believe that.
Finish. Please allow me to finish. If social workers that work with me have any concerns of I've done an assessment and they come and say, Olu, can you look at this assessment and let if everything is okay? I have white social workers that I supervise. Yeah, I would then say I can't even pick out something from that assessment that was not picked out. That is the responsibility of someone who is higher than someone, because then you have to QA every assessment that comes your way. So the white social worker might not have gone deep. I might then go in and then go deep, because I have a line manager and I have an operations manager that I'm going to be answerable to, because I'm putting my signature on it. So what I'm saying is that policy, institutional racism exists. I'm not disputing that. But what I'm saying is that whoever wants to not to be in this deep sheet of racism to me, not to me, you'll have to make sure that you wash your hands and it's clean. I've attended a strap meeting where just because the person saw my badge as Olushola, he stood there and he was just saying, calling my name, tapping me. He was calling me, he was speaking my language. Now, that investigation could not be accepted because he saw my name tag and he was calling me. I was giving him eye contact. I was telling him to sit down. He stood up. His attitude that day was extremely bad. And this is a strike meeting that involved the police and involved the family and involved social workers. And we had to stop that meeting because of the level of his aggression. And to top it up, he was calling me like we both left the house together, just because he has seen my name badge. So what I'm saying is that attitude, following from what Lapis have said, attitude sometimes does not even give you an edge to help someone, because then someone have seen you relax. That is my color person. That will be fine. Some family would prefer the white people to support them rather than black people. And some family will say, oh, I'll prefer the black person. It's not about who supports you. It's about what has happened, what investigation is in place, and what the policy says. So I know racism is there, and if you are just coming into this country, I'm very sure that you will also have a part of the cake. And for people that have gone higher in this country, before you get to that level, you know you have. I'm the only black senior in my team.
Are you saying that the research is wrong?
Equality. Wait a minute. Equality. Wait a minute.
Yeah. So I'm the only black person in my senior team. So I know. So it's there. And I tell you, you have to work harder. Even our children in school, they have to work extra hard to achieve it. I always say to my kids, I say, you know what? A white person, just the teacher might even pat the child at the back and say, well done. When the child has not done anything. Whereas you as a black child, you've done one step, you're going extra. They're seeing your sweat, but just because they don't want to raise you above. But things are changing now because black people are coming out to say, well, my child has done very well here. Why is my child not in this position? You don't give my child detention without me, you telling me the reason why you give my child detention. I was in my kids' school on Thursday. The number of children that came out that had detention were close to 50. Most of them were black children. Does it mean that there's only black children that disrupt in school? When I was a camps practitioner, all my list to children that get referred are all white children. They just do little thing at school, they refer them for autism assessment. They do little thing at school, they refer them, they say they need help. They do this because they need support because they want to do GCSE, so they need timeout, they need time. I sign up red cards for them to come out earlier out school to go for lunch. This one, when the class is burning, you come out of the class. You cannot wear this texture of clothes to school. You do this, you do that. That is what my policy says I should do. But is that the number of children who are disruptive? Is it only black children? So that's what I'm saying, that it's a battle and it's a fight that you have to fight. You just have to make sure that you are not in a position where you've done something and someone with another color can prove you that you have done this. That is where I say racism is there, it's inevitable, it's everywhere. You cannot, even if you are at the top, you will still get it from even the youngest person in your team. So that is where I'm coming from.
Thank you, ma. Lapis, have you still got? You are still talking, Lapis.
No, okay. I'm here to listen. I'll listen.
Solo.
That's fine. I'm here to learn.
Solo, you just come up now. Is there anything you want to contribute before I give the mic to Triple A? Solo, have you got something to contribute?
Yes, please. Yes.
Take a mic.
Yes, please.
After Solo, Triple A, I will give a mic to you, sir. And if equality also after Triple A, equality for black. Go ahead, Solo.
Okay, thank you and good evening, everyone. I just hear about what was going on, so I just want to add a little bit of my point of view about thing going on with most of our children. Of my little experience, what I notice is there's a two-way that situation always be handled, or in school or when something happened to our children, based on the fact that the community is not 100% ruled by any black person working as a social worker or teacher or whatever. We still rely on them on any last decision, because what I notice is the fact that when one of our children or one of the family or mom got into trouble, the way the schools or those who are in charge handle the case. I'll come back to the example that the lady talked about the child who was coming, asked her mom to have a packed lunch and she did not buy. I don't know why the parent wasn't
not this one, other one.
What
I can't use this two-way hand.
What I noticed is that instead, if it was affecting a white child, what is going to happen? Even it can be handled with a high teacher. She will make sure that parent should be guarded by other community of white people, maybe in certain linking her with a WhatsApp group, that they will approach them out of the picture of all of those regulations. But when it's come in terms of black children, it will follow policy. We don't really give a community to that black mom, so that she should have more approach behind door to know what is going on her side. Like the example that the sister just talked about, that little child. Yes, her husband have handled the case by doing the report. That is only the job he could have done, but he didn't go further to find out, or who could have been close to that mom to understand why she's not making the pack lunch, and explaining her, because that is the job that what people do on the ground. That on the facade, they just say, no, we will follow law, but they really work on the ground for their low community, or those who don't even know how to read and write. They help them a lot by creating a WhatsApp group that we, inside our community, we sometimes left on that case, and when we come, we just face regulation and rule and policy. That is a little bit what I can bring, because we are under their rule. No matter we are working for social services, for doctor, it's them, they control everything. That is a little bit what I can add on it. That if I feel like if the mess pull out on black community, it because we don't really have that other community on the ground. All of us are so much on pressure of the system, making money, deal with. So sometimes our young new in the country are left alone on so many things. That I don't know if I just get myself a little bit understand. So that is a little bit clarification that I want to add on what I just hear so far. Thank you.
Thank you, Solo. Thank you.
I just have to what Solo have just said. When he met the child, when the child was referred to him, she's an 8-year-old child. Now, from what he said, he's made contact with this mom 3 times. Mom has not responded. We meant to meet.
I assumed that. I knew that was the situation.
She has not responded.
I knew it.
She works, and apparently the child said her mom is a manager in a care home. So this is someone who is educated. So like Lapisa said, there are elements of a willful neglect, and that is the reason they will have to go further. Now she has not responded to meetings. I mean, I can only say that few of it, because I mean sometimes you just get some cases and you think, oh, why is this person like this? Now that is on the onus of that mom, as a black mom. Why are you not responding? There hasn't been changes in what is requested. Now that vacuum is still there. It's still giving her time. Okay, we're still negotiating, but there's no availability for her to negotiate. The only thing that is telling her is that eating and beating and waking the child up with a slap and all that is the thing that the child is saying that, oh, she's not doing that anymore. As of Thursday, she was still swearing. So, and she's not meeting up for meetings. Now, if that now goes further into child protection, now then you now come back and say, oh, because the black social worker will have to do their job. They're not going to lose their PIN number for one case. So they have to do their job. So that will then go further because the parents have not responded. So they could have negotiated response. They would have seen the changes in the child. School would have observed changes. He would have observed changes. The child too could have said, oh, things have changed at home. Then he would close the case and that's it. But now the case is open and there's every possibility, from what I was just saying to him, that this case would go to child protection. And to the extreme of it, it will go to, child in need. And now to the extreme of it, will go to child. And I think with the way she's going, and this child is able to come and be saying all this at school, the child will be taken from her on the long run. So when you do your work as a social worker, don't forget, like Lapis have said, people have spent 3 years, 4 years in the uni just to study human beings and to know what to respond to. It's a lot of time for you to come out and then just mess about. You have someone that you report to. If you do an assessment and it doesn't work, or you have not asked a lot of questions, or you're going into extra questions that you don't need to, by the time you give it to a senior practitioner, they send it back to you. Then they cross this one that we don't need to go into this detail. We don't need to go into that detail. Now they've asked the question, where's dad? Dad is not with mom. We've taken that out of the picture. So that is, we pick out what you want to do. When he was giving them the social work tool to click important people in my life, what the child wrote down there, which really explains a lot. So it's the children who are coming out to speak. So that is it, that you don't treat a child badly because they will never forget. It's a trauma that lives in them. So work is being done. Mom is not responding. Mom is not communicating. Mom is not taking actions that have been highlighted. She only receives the email. She's not attending meetings. So to have a strat meeting together. So these are things that are pulling and pulling and pulling. And giving her time, she will do this. She's at work. She will not come. She will book appointment. She will not turn up. So then when the social worker then goes forward into the next action, then people say social worker have taken her to court.
Thank you, ma. Those of you on the FYP, please feel free to come on live. Feel free to come to comment section. Request to come on box. We need to engage in this conversation. While we are educating ourselves, we need to also enlighten each other and also take it back to the system for policy reformation, for changes, for improvements, and building relationship. That's what we're meant for. Dinky, you were talking something about disparity in health sector, in policing. What do you want to talk about that before I bring AAA?
Yeah. Like, I said, like, it's not even limited to social service only. Like when we are talking about this, let me use the word racial discrimination as equality for black nurses was saying. Is in the police, is in the health sector. Like when I was complaining about my mental health, when I first went through all the trauma and everything, they will do an assessment, they will question you, they will ask to know how you're doing and all that. So they will make a referral to the mental health team to sort of contact you. Nothing. I didn't get anything back from them till now. And I have another friend of the other color. She's also pregnant. She told me the moment they made the referral, they contacted her immediately. She was even the midwife. And I've been complaining about the same thing since I've been like 12 weeks, and I'm 34 weeks pregnant now. My midwife had to tell me, I keep complaining to her all the time, like my low mood, this, da, da, da. She would tell me, oh, I'll make a referral. I will make a referral. And every time I'll keep telling her that I don't still feel well mentally. And it just got to a point I was like, what's even the point? Because I got scared that, okay, what's the point? What if you even make the referral and I'm scared about social service taking my child away from me, so that they will not be like, oh, you're not mentally fit to sort of raise the child. But at that time, I thought I needed therapy. I needed to speak with someone to know what I'm going through mentally. No contact, but I would give it to social service. That was the only time, like, I was really impressed with my social worker. Like, when I mentioned it to her, that I've made a self-referral to the talking therapy because my midwife has been saying, she's making the, what's it called? That she's referring me to mental health team to contact me. They never contact. And I was like, but why is my friend? Like, she's of other color. Like, she was being referred. Immediately she was contacted. In my head, I was thinking, did she even make the referral at all? Like, did she even do it? And in the case of police, I said, okay, because of my skin color. Like, when my case was raised for safeguarding, they contacted me that I should come to the station and let them know about my abuse and everything. And I went there and I explained everything to the police. I myself and my ex-partner met. That was on the verge of actually leaving UK when we met. Even with the voice notes, they were actually for evidences, right? Even from the voice notes that had evidence of him telling me on that voice note that he knows it's his fault that I stayed back. This policeman just told me, go back to your country. Like, I don't have any case against him. That should go back to my country. It took them about a few days for them to contact me, like about 2 or 3 days to contact me back. That they reviewed my case with the Barak and they told me I should come back, that they could pick him up for coercive control abuse. And of course, they got him arrested. They read my statement to him, but whatever I said, they refused to tell me. They only just told me he gave us his instances. So this case is going to be NFA.
No further action. Lapis, take a mic.
I was just like, wow, like, okay, fine. My color. And my work colleague was like, that is wrong. That they should have told me, okay, this is it, and this was that. Like, nothing. Like, when I needed the mental health support, nothing. I mean, that saying she's making a referral. And I've been suffering these things, I've been about 12 weeks pregnant. I couldn't get that support when I needed it. It got to a point I was not really scared that, okay, what's even now the point of actually talking? Because I felt if I tell you people how I feel, I'm having panic attacks, I'm getting scared of everything I'm actually going through. Imagine someone promising you, proposing to you, taking you to registry to pick a marriage date, getting pregnant, trying to manipulate you to have an abortion, to the extent of trying to self-harm himself, that I had to run when the abuse was getting so much, using the F word, calling me like the B words and all that. Like, it was getting that bad. Like, I was actually getting scared of going back home. And it was actually affecting my job. And at work, they were already noticing that something was wrong with me. They had to run away. She said, God in the say, right? I ran away. I didn't even have a place I was staying. I was crashing on friends' sofas. I was sleeping at work. Mind you, in some cases, if I was other color, they would give me a place to stay. Is it not? Nothing. Because I was like, I don't have access to public fund. I should go sort myself out. And I've sorted myself out. I'm in a house here I'm renting right now. And this house, I can't have a child in this house. Because that is what I can actually afford. Because it's an ensuite. That is what I can afford. And on my contract, it's written on it boldly. No children accepted, no pets. and in the room is only one of you that is allowed to be in the room. And I know within myself, like after having this child, I will struggle. Like zero support. So that's why I said, okay, what's not the essence? Why did you even allow me to talk? Why did you even raise a case about safeguarding? So what's just the point? Because of my color.
We're supposed to talk, but let me give La Peace 2 minutes.
Yeah, just very quickly. Thank you. I'm sitting here listening to you quietly. I'm so sorry you had to go through what you went through, but God has your back. Okay, that's all I will say. Okay, just very quickly. And if you're not happy with the quality of service you're receiving from every professional, whether I don't want to restrict it to social workers or only any professionals, please exercise your right. You have the right to put in a complaint, against that person, okay, for a full investigation to take place. So that is very, very important, for you to know. And just to answer the lady that I think it was Solo that was talking something about, you said something about there are other options, the social worker should have explored, linking up the family with the community, where they have the WhatsApp group and all that. And let me tell you, this is why maybe we need to educate our community sometimes, so they have a better understanding of what is called workflow from the point that you receive a referral and what happens afterwards, and so that we can walk you through the system. The way you receive a referral, you have to determine how urgent that case is, and that's when the clock starts ticking with regards to the KPI. You need to start doing, okay, do we need to act now? Is this something that we can explore other options? I'm not going to link a family with, just give or maybe just give the family's name.
We can't hear you. Maybe you had a call. Maybe you have a call. Probably you have a call.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Sorry about
we
that.
can.
Call.
Yeah, we
Just
noticed.
very quickly. So there's something called confidentiality. You need a consent. Things don't happen just very immediately, quickly. There is a process that you have to go through. And that's why you said solo, everything is about policies and procedure. Yes, we're guided by policies and procedure. But I don't know if you understand Yoruba. Luchi was so fair, I don't know if that's because I'm a Yoruba woman. So there are rules and regulations, there are policies and procedures that we have to follow. It's like our Bible, that we have to follow it. So yes, when it comes to creating a plan, all those things will come in at some point, because you're going through the process, because there's a workflow you have to go through. Parents, it's important, listen and walk. Okay? Walk with the authorities, don't walk against them. Okay, make sure you discharge your duties and responsibility as parents. Know your rights. Okay, know your rights and exercise those rights. Thank you.
Thank you, Mama. Mommy Star, let me blow a trumpet for you. It's been a while we've seen your face.
Hello, sorry, this is my girl. How are you doing?
It's been a while.
Good evening, Ma.
Good evening, Mama.
I've missed you. How are you? Nice to see you. Hi. Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Same to you, sir. I can go now, sir, because I've got something to do. She's another social worker is here. Mommy Star, I'll talk to you later on, okay? Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Nice.
Thank you, La Peace. Please, La Peace, connect so that anytime we are live, you'll be prompted, ma.
No problem. No problem.
I will follow you back. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Nice to meet you, and Iyoko, thanks to meet you too. Take care. Bye-bye. Welcome.
Iyoko is also a professional in the camps. Oh, Triple A, take a mic.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Yeah.
There's very little I can say then. I'm just going to come from the teacher's angle. What we go through with your children, and there's nothing much I would like to emphasize that we should have very good communication with your children. You and your children should have very good communication. You should know that. Before I even go to the communication side, let's look at the physical side. There are so many times we see our children. I'm being honest with you, it has nothing to do with race or anything. When you go on lunch duty or break duty, it is our children that you see begging for food. They will line up and be putting their hand out for maybe one of their colleagues or one of their junior students. Will be bringing out maybe jollof rice and the kids will be raising their hands asking for food. And this is a sight that is so worrying. I've never seen any other Asian white. Everybody would be with their packed lunch and be eating. I'm going to implore our parents, please give them adequate money. If you don't have money if you don't have the time for packed lunch, please make sure they have adequate amounts of money to feed. Some of these children do not have money. At times they'll go to because now it's biometrics. They go there, put their finger on the machine. Oh, you don't have any money. You don't have on a Monday morning. As a parent, please make sure your child, because it's not just demeaning to them. They don't see it as bad at this point in time but these are the ways by which they can get incorporated into gangs. Because now, let me be honest with you, gangs are already infiltrated into schools. As low as classes, initially it's the sixth formers, those ones that have a little bit of intelligence, so to speak. But now it's kids from year seven that are involved, and you see them at times in school giving gang signs. It's a worry for me. It's a worry for us as blacks, okay, African and Caribbean. Another thing I need to emphasize is that our children's attainment is very low, especially in the core subjects, the maths, the English, the sciences. Our kids are not, especially our boys, our girls, they're still better off than our boys. It's worrying. It's very worrying. So we need to, first of all, address ourselves, we the blacks, address the unit, the family. The family is very, very important. We need to take better care of our kids, because if we don't, I will leave it to the teachers. Let me be honest with you, we have 8 hours. That's our contract with your children. The moment they step out of that 8 hours, the remaining 16 hours is yours. So you have twice the number of hours to deal with the kids. I have 1 hour to deal with your child. I have 30 kids to deal with. Each one of them. We're talking about the neediest human beings in this world. I always repeat it. British kids. The children are so needy. You have 30 kids to deal with every 1 hour. You need to impart knowledge in them. You need to say this, say that. There's so much the schools can do. We don't report you to social services because we hate you. What matters, just like the social workers have said, is simple. Every child matters. Your child matters first. And if your child comes to school, you don't know the extent of damage we have to deal with at times as teachers. You see a child comes to school swearing this and that, upset, doing everything. You know that day is going to ruin your class or ruin your lessons. Or you see a child crying. Let me tell you the scale of preference. A crying child and a crying child is top on the priority. That is one of the things we do our test on. If you see a child crying, that's the first thing. If there's a fire, you first go and deal with that crying child, but something must be very, very wrong. We see children so upset because of things you do. And when these kids come, we are going to sit your child down. I'm going to ask that child what's going on. And before we ask your child, I keep repeating it, we're going to tell your child, listen, everything you say is going to go from I tell you, yes. And we do not ask them probing. I mean, we do not put words into their mouths. It's what your child says that we're going to take home. Because your child's welfare is number one. So that we've done our bit. Then serious services can take off from there. Because at the end of the day, that child, some trigger that child to be coming to school, and we see this thing, and it's quite saddening. So I don't know, girls' school they still be better. Our boys, they come to school, the uniform is so squeezed out uniform on a Monday morning.
Triple X, Triple A, are you saying it's just black children that you're seeing this with?
Begging for food, yes. I'm being honest, I've taught in about 5 different schools.
But I think
I've never seen white kids begging for
food. What it is, I think... No, because I think what you're actually saying is quite harmful because you're feeding into racial stereotypes because not all black children...
No. Equality. Let's be very, very...
Not all black children are in gangs. It's a false generalization.
It's not internalized.
No, but what children are also involved in gangs, but they're not labelled the same way.
Let's take it one by one.
Research shows that
let people talk. No, let me finish talking.
I mean, what you're saying is pretty harmful, and it's just like it's actually quite harmful. Are you saying that all black children are in gangs?
Unless we keep burying our heads in. Listen. You don't have.
No, but are you saying that all black children are in gangs?
No, listen. Let me be honest with you. This is what I saw, not what I heard.
All right, let me just say one thing for you. Let me say one thing, then I'm going to put myself on mute. I'm going to ask you one thing. Many black parents are struggling financially because of racial pay gaps, job discrimination, and the cost of living crisis. And the government provides free dinners, but you've got to understand this is a structural problem. What you're seeing.
Listen very carefully. I know that
it's all part of structural racism. We've still not
equality
reparations.
Unless we keep
it is racism because it comes from the transatlantic slave trade.
Listen. All this racism thing. The truth is still there. Are we going to continue with this racism every?
What do you mean the country is built on racism? This country, you obviously weren't born in this country, but this country is built. This country is built on racism.
This country is built on racism. Fine and dandy. Africa, we black on black, racism is there as well. So don't
it's not there. It's not there. It's black majority.
I've seen. Let me talk, madam. If you don't want us
what you're saying is
equality for equality.
It's dangerous what you're saying because you're
equality for black. Equality for black. Equality for black. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute.
Now you're calling me names.
1 minute.
It's a stereotype.
Equality of black. 1 minute. 1 minute. Equality for black. 1 minute. Let's Triple finish first. Let Triple finish first. Equality of black. Let Triple finish. When you finish, I'm
talking from experience.
Let Triple finish.
I'm kind of she take that word back, calling me a house Negro. That is an insult. I'm coming from a third world country. I see things, and there's nothing you want to tell me. I've been in this world longer than you. I've taught in this country for over 12 years, and I've seen things. And people like us, instead of people like you sitting down, telling us what you think, we go there every morning, making sure that these kids, despite every opportunity they've been deprived of, they are learning. We don't go there with prejudice. So I'm telling you this not because it's to bring them down, so that we can address issues, things we see. A lot of you don't work in schools. It's what I see every day. You know how many times I have to talk to kids. You know how many times I have to be at the bus station where kids won't have money, the bus drivers will have to stand up for them. So don't ever call anybody who don't agree with the black man in the house Negro. That is so demeaning. Please, we say things, I say just for me, for people to know what is going on. There's no stereotypes. I see it every day. I don't see black. This is what I see every day. So what do I do? Close my eyes. I'm telling you, these are things some parents don't even know that their kids do it. It has nothing to do with the fact that parents, because if you don't have money, they have free school meals. They'll mean tens what you earn. People who are very more money, they have breakfast, free breakfast, they have free food, they have free school meals. But what I'm saying is that it's not even those with the free school meals. Kids going around begging for food amongst their peers. It's something, it's an eyesore. As a black person, I feel bad about it. And I tell parents, please, if you don't have the means to make packed lunch for these kids, make sure you have at least enough money for those. They are growing kids. They are going to be eating. They are going to spend 8 hours teaching, learning. 8 hours. One of the most difficult things to be learning. You burn glucose and you lose energy, and they need food. But make sure they have adequate food. These are the ways by which, these are one of the ways by which they incorporate. I didn't say just black people are the ones that are involved in gangs. I said these are the ways they incorporate kids into gangs. Because if we don't have enough, kids are young. They is what they can get. So I don't know what I've said that you have to tell me that somebody is telling me that I'm coming from a third world country. I don't need any programming, said madam. If you don't want to listen to the truth, we'll continue to be having this conversation for the next 50 years. We have low attainment. Our kids have low attainment. It's saddening. We have to take, we are the ones who have to teach them. We have kids, I've taught in inner city London. I've seen things that, gave me nightmares. Kids who can't even eat, can afford to eat 3 square meals. Kids that would rather stay in school, get detentions, because when they get home, the area they are living in is not conducive. Our kids, I'm talking about our kids. This is a platform for our children. So if we are not going to address our problems, because we are afraid that somebody is going to portray us as stereotypical or being programmed. Listen, I'm more intelligent than that. I've seen enough from it, enough to last me a lifetime. I've worked in Bexley. I've worked in the area where there is middle class, lower class white people. They have the same problems as well. So I'm just saying, I'm focusing on our children. We cannot be blaming the system for everything. The system has provided this to the school. Our kids, we have to be telling them, listen, there's more to life than football. There's more to life than sports. We can be doctors. I was saying our girls are doing very well. Our boys are having issues academically. And we cannot say because will I be scared to tell you that this is what is going on with our boys. We're having this problem. How many male doctors that have of this skin color have you seen at hospitals? Tell me, compared to the other skin color, it's not that they have been programmed, there's an element racism. They write the same GCSE exams. Our kids are not doing well. It's for all the parents to now sit down. Okay, where are we going wrong? The Asians went through it. And Asian parents, during parents' evening, they will tell you, okay, how do you want my child to, how does my child improve? Even with 8s, 9s, they're already thinking ahead with us. And they have a system. When I taught in East London, when a child is misbehaving and an Asian kid is misbehaving and all this other stuff, they have a system within themselves. In fact, they got the imam. I didn't believe it. The imam was involved. And this boy is doing this. Let's call the imam. The imam called the family. They dealt with the issue. We don't have that system amongst us. Let's us address the issues amongst us. I don't care about any other. Let's talk about that. So the only way we can address the issue is us and knowing that something is wrong. If we just blame everything on the system, then why? I come to school every day. The first people that will come for me are our own children too. Some of them. The moment you open your mouth, the first thing they will laugh at you that you have a foreign accent. Not the white kids. Because white kids will know that that's straight on racism. A black kid will misbehave to talk to you. You go to say in inner London because you speak with an accent, you will not feel it. Ask anybody who has a foreign accent, that's the dark skin. Ask them who are the first people that will make fun of you in your own class, will make you uncomfortable. Our kids. Does that mean I will not teach them? Of course I will teach them. Because these kids need to be taught. They will make fun of your accent. It is a white kid has never called me a freshie. white kid has never called me a fob. A white kid has never called me an alf. These are names that were given to us by our own kids. But does that mean we should hate them? No. We come down there, do what we need to do to make sure that I keep telling them, if I can do it, I'm coming from Africa. If I can do it, stand in front of you, teach you, the white kid, Asian kid, the world is your oyster. That is what we do with our kids. And I tell them off when I see them begging for food. I say, hang on, that food you are asking for, you don't know the food you are eating. Maybe you have there's something that you are allergic to. I've seen a child who went to the hospital because it was what he had, there was nuts in the food, and he had nut allergies. We had to call the ambulance. The mom almost got into trouble. So these are things we are seeing, and we have to address it as Black people. I'm not scared, but please do never call someone who is trying to address names. That is why we have issues. There's this divide amongst we Black people. Some people believe anybody that says anything wrong is being programmed. And when we start calling each other names, that is the downfall. We are not going to get anywhere. Let us face facts. Even if the system is working against you, you still have to make sure that your child eats. You still have to make sure that the child is taken care of. Because we have too many of our children who have been taken to the system. And we cannot sit down there and be burying our head in the sand like the ostrich and say we don't have a problem. We do have a problem. Let us address it. Let parents please try as much as possible. Make sure that you have the best things for these children. Let them have the best clothes. Let them iron their clothes. Let them make sure that before they leave the house, make sure that everything is spick and span. Most of the books, you don't need books. Everything has been provided for you in your school. Make sure you follow up on what these kids are doing. Call the school. You are under the duty of care to call the school at least once a term. Know what your child is doing at school. Follow the progress. We are having low grade attainment. Our kids are not, especially our boys, are not going for courses like medicine, engineering, pharmacy. All they want to do, those who want to go to school, fine and dandy. Everybody wants to do business or want to go into sports. We have to how many of them are going to Russell schools? We please try and inspire them. We are trying to inspire your kids as well. Inspire them as well. Despite everything, let them know that they can do better. We keep telling them that make our work a bit easier because we are doing many things at school for your kids. So we are now as a community, and please, I'm begging us in this community, let us inspire these kids as well. You don't have to live, you can live in a low income house. It doesn't matter. The school, you're not paying school fees. The school is providing virtually everything for you. You have the internet. I come from a third world country. We have to pay some form of school fees every time. We have to pay some of school fees. We have to walk long distance to go to school. We've gone through what I've been through. If you, try what I've been through, where I've come from, you won't even last 5 days there. But does that stop me from inspiring kids to do better? No. Inspiring Black kids to do better. Does that stop me? No. But when I see something that is wrong, it's not not being stereotyped. It is what I see. It's not all of them. I said some of our kids. There are some who brought food, who bring food to the school. There's some who have their food, complement of food. But we're just saying that some of these kids are doing some things.
To pray.
And they're in there. Yes, sir.
Please help us round up in 2 minutes. I will bring Mommy Star. I'll give Mommy Star.
I'm very, very sorry.
I'll give Mommy Star and Desire Air. So sorry for that. This platform is to respect each other and to appreciate every people's opinion, views. We welcome, we tolerate everybody. We welcome everybody's views. So sorry for that. Mommy Star, after Triple A, you will take a mic and Desire Air.
I'm finished. I'm done. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Mommy Star, Happy New Year. Oh, please, ma, give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Lady P, Queen of the Kingdom. 001. Let's blow trumpet. I know say there's one person there, Catherine. She go on talk, but I no go talk, sha. Okay. Mommy, start. Take a mic.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mommy Bembe. I came in at a later stage, so I really don't know what I should comment on. Is it just talk about people working with professionals generally, or what do you want to talk about?
We were just talking generally. We did a case study of Stoke-on-Trent today, where a family share their experience, and at a point he mentioned that one of the message they gave was his daughter called him narcissist, and when he queried the social services that how does that come from, where does that come from, uh, they just try to.
How old is the daughter, though?
I think this one is this 17 or I can't remember.
The daughter is in university,
Yeah.
and the son was the one that made report in school, so they had to call the daughter in the university. Okay. And the daughter said she didn't say anything like that, and she was crying.
So the son made the disclosure.
Yes.
Okay. So where are they now in terms of
the case have now. Go ahead, Catherine. Go ahead.
Until you blow my trumpet, sir. The case has been sorted.
Wait now. Ìjà ti tán.
Mommy Star, the case has been sorted, I think, in January.
Oh, that's good.
So he was saying that until Save a Woman intervened, that they were not doing the right things. That the first social worker he had was horrible, and the second one until Save a Woman intervened before she started doing the right thing. But the daughter categorically said she didn't speak with them. She didn't call her father a narcissist.
And that's the thing. I'm guessing the girl is in uni, but she's uni or college.
Uni.
So that's at least 18-year-old. Why does it matter? 18-year-old girl says her dad is this and that. So why is social services getting involved?
Oh no, it was the brother in, I think, secondary school that made the disclosure. They contacted the other child in the family, which is the elder one in the university, and said that the elder one said her father is a narcissist.
Oh, okay.
And the girl said the girl was now crying that she didn't say so, she didn't speak with them, she didn't do this.
I get it.
You know, what the concern is that if the parent has now taken that in a different way and got angry with their child, you know, the conflict,
yes,
the kind of breakage could have caused damage to that home.
Break the relationship that they
Yeah.
have, Parents
and some parents don't know that it's not everything the system said, the children said might not be accurately, might not be exactly. So they need to still love their children. You know what I mean? If they don't love them, no parent will hear such a word, will not say, how dare that child? Why would that child say that? And before you know, they might even go back to the child that your daddy said you are lying. And the child would now start saying, are they calling me a liar? Doesn't know where it belongs. So that was the conversation that led to disparity in treatments, policy, process, procedure, how fair it is, and what can we do better, what can we learn, what chances do we stand. And it got to Dinky. Dinky also mentioned about asking for help, not getting the help. Why would that be when a friend was able to get help even before crying out?
I think the thing with this role is the profession itself has two powers. That's a bit of
we have two things: power, and then we say that we are here to support the children and family. I don't know which area they are, or the other name you mentioned that, but I know that a lot of local authorities now they are looking at having these family safeguarding models, which just basically means keep the child and the family as long as it's safe. And I think not even I think, I know it's actually working. They are keeping that model. If everybody adopts to that model, that you before you think about taking a child out of that, except in extreme cases, when it comes in duty, and then you like rate it green, amber, red. Red is the one that, yes, you have to sort it within 6 hours. Amber, I think, is 12 hours, and the green one is 24 hours. So, and again, before a case goes into red, yeah, that one usually comes from the hospital anyway, to say that once the baby become well, to call about to call, let's say, or the child is dead, or God forbid, or it has to be something really, really bad. But disclosure and referrals from school as well, they tend to, like, put them into their own rating as well. But all in all, from Goti Lady Joy, so before she went down, I think, and as we always say it, you have the right to you have the right to be treated fairly. And if you think at the point that you are talking to your professionals or your social worker, whoever is allocated to you, it might be the unqualified ones, and you think that they are not in you or your child's best interest, I will always advise that ask for your case to be reallocated. You might need all you need may just be like a fresh set of eyes that will look at this case and say, no, we should have done ABC. No, we should have done, 1, 2, 3. And then you start getting things to start moving in the right direction from there. But if you're with a social worker that it's need plan further, it depends on what you are on. Even if you're on CP plan or on SIN plan, you should be working with that plan. If anything changes in that plan, or even you as a parent, as an advocate for your child, if you think this SIN or CP plan is not working, you can challenge it. You can challenge it. You can say, this is what you put in the plan. It doesn't align with us. It's not working for us, and things like that. So, and again, from my own understanding of this profession, all these plans should be made in conjunction with the child. The voice of the child has to be in the center of it. And people who know the child would also have to contribute to it. And when we are talking about people who know the child, we are talking about the child's um, um, caregiver, primary caregivers, which is usually by default is the parent. It might be dad, it might be mom, except if it's a child has been adopted out as a baby. Then it becomes the adopted parent or a foster parent. So, but if it's a child that's lived with birth parent from baby, there's no one that will know the child more than them. So me, that's where I work. When I'm putting my plans together, parents have their input. If it's a child that I can do some direct work with to get his or her input, I do that as well to get their input. But as every job, we all practice in a different way, and we just hope that we all get it together. Where fortunately for me, where me I am, I don't have a lot of black, families. I deal more with people of the other colors. So I don't have a lot of us. We are now called. We are not. We shouldn't even be. We are no longer called black family. We are now called the major, uh, majority race. Something majority shall say that we are more combination of us black and brown and people with color are more than white people in the world. It's a new term that they are using for us now. Minor majority. Sorry, I got that place wrong. But to come back to what we were saying, once you see that your thinking or your plans are not in line with what your social services is doing, you can always ask for their manager, ask to meet their managers, ask for a change in worker. And these are your rights. You can say, this person is doing this for me. This person is saying that they are coming. They don't keep up to appointment. They won't even call me to say they are not coming. I've put a lot of things in place and they just don't turn up. They are forcing this and that on me. They are meant to do some investigations for me that they're not doing. They are meant to do some agency checks for me that they are not doing. And it's a case that I can't keep going on for too long because as a mom, I need to know what is happening. You can't leave me in uncertainty for too long. I need to know what is happening, and then from there, somebody will listen to you and then pick up. There was a but earlier. There was a message that someone asked to say, can you reject SIM plan, like working with them with a social worker under SIM? Yeah, you can. Child in need is not a statutory thing that you have to do. If you look at the plans that they put together for you in child in need, and if you think it benefits you, embrace the support. If you think this is not for me, this is someone that is just putting things on the paper to look good, then don't embrace it. Stand up, speak for yourself, and stand up at that time and say no. You've got this plan. I don't want this in my plan. We don't want this. We don't want that. We don't want this. We don't want that. And then you can now both all sit down, all the John Shisha, if he's domestic abuse worker, mental health worker, substance misuse worker, school, the social worker, it might be health, it depends on the age of the child. Health visitor may be among, community nurses and things like that. You all sit together and then come up with plans that the child is in the center of it, and also the parents align with it. Every other person that is working, the multidisciplinary people working, multi-agency working together, they're in line with it, and that's where you thrive. But when they force things on you, you don't thrive. And again, I'll repeat it again: child in need. What is child in need in place? What's the child in need in place? Right. I don't think I got your question. So by the right, we can say what is child in need in place. Yes. So by your right, you can all, even if it's CP, if they've come to you and say they are putting your child under child in need, then the first meeting has to be a meeting that you are sat with them, writing the plan. So the first meeting has to be a child in need meeting, writing a plan with all the professionals that are working with the child. And also, again, I emphasize putting the need of the child at the center. And child in need depends on local authority, should be reviewed between 4 to 6 weeks. If something is not working in the plan, say for example, the plan is for a child, the attendance is behind 5%, 20%, to keep going to school, and then pull up the attendance. And if we ask how we're going to achieve it, mom is going to set alarm at 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm just giving an example to wake him up. Social worker can say, okay, I can volunteer to get him into school early, or maybe if you have other support, my granddad can drop him off at school early to make sure that he gets to school early. And so those are the things that we'll be looking at. I'm just giving an example. It might also be an example of they're not meeting their developmental state. I mean, in terms of their age 2 to 6, we'll be looking at referrals to different places. Who is going to follow up? So with the plan, you also have who, where, and when. Who's going to follow up? When is the referral going to be written? What's going to happen? And then school will be looking at what can they be doing in school to get the child settled in school. How are they going to reduce their lectures, their classes, if it's a child that's got anxiety about going into school in the first place? They'll be looking at, should we do phased return to school? Should we take them off some of the classes that they don't like and introduce art into it and things like that, just to get them settled? And after that 6 to 8 weeks, you come back together and sit and look at the plan again. The no one that you don't need it again, you take it off the plan. The ones that you are struggling with, you come up with another method, dimensions of how to gain it, or how to walk into it. And that's what is child in need. As a parent, you can decline child in need as a parent. If you think these people are just fobbing me about, I've had 4, 5, 6 meetings with them, nothing is changing, we are still in the same. My child has 20% attendance, is not moving. They promised to take me and to take my child to health review, nobody has taken it. They promised to put my child on referral for this and that, they haven't done it. And then you think, so why am I attending this meeting every 4, 5 weeks? It makes no sense. So, and that's when you can now looking at, okay, this is not happening, I would like to come off the thing of sin. You can do that. Is your right. Somebody was, I'm pregnant though, and I haven't heard back from SS. What is SS? Sorry. Social services. So what are you expecting to hear back from social services?
Okay, quickly, just let me talk. I was the one that had the question about the child in need.
Okay.
Because my case started with a safeguarding case, because I started from a DV case to safeguarding. Then I kept assuring social service.
When you had the DV case, you had a child as well. Were you pregnant?
No, I was pregnant.
Okay.
So that was what made social service to be contacted. And I moved out of the house and I kept assuring them I'm not going back into the relationship. And my case was open for, my case is not, okay, it was moved from, I think it was moved from safeguarding to child in need. And they told me, okay, we'll set up a meeting to have a child in need plan. And for over 6 weeks now, I've not heard anything back from them.
You set up your first scene meeting?
Yes, and nothing. I've not heard anything back. The only thing I know is the social worker just came to my house to ask me questions about it, that they're going to put me on child in need to be on section 17. Then nothing else. I've not heard anything back.
Okay. So what is the baby's dad saying? Is he in compliance with this child in need plan?
He's told them he doesn't want to be involved in the child's life.
Okay. That is left to him to do that. But once baby is here, then you'd have to be looking at maybe taking him to court for child support. But that one is on the side. What you said now is a bit similar to what I've got at the moment. So we do all these meetings with unborn baby's mom.
Yes.
That is in the picture. But if they've told you that they are moving you to scene, something should have happened within 6 weeks. 6 weeks wait is too long, I would say. What I can say is maybe email back your social worker and say you haven't heard in 6 weeks. What is happening? You need to know how long more for baby to arrive. You don't have to say weeks, so you just say months.
About a month.
Oh my God. You haven't had pre-birth meeting, pre-birth planning meeting, nothing.
Nothing. And the funniest thing is, she actually knows that where I am. Like when they said they wanted to close my case for safeguarding before Christmas, they go, okay, fine. We know you struggle after having the baby because you be on your own and trying to housing and everything. We'll get back to you. Nothing.
Okay. So, as I said, go through your manager, go through your social worker in an email, and also every team has a duty line. I think you should look for that duty line and call the team and explain yourself. You've been waiting 6 weeks.
I don't even know anything about any duty line. I only just know the social worker that is handling my case.
Okay. So what happens is with every team has got a duty line, and so duty has 2 social workers on it every day, 9 to 5, except after 5 that it goes to out of hours. So I will advise you to go to their website and find the duty line for children's services. There's one line for children where I work. There's one line, but if you now say the area, they will ask you for your postcode to be able to streamline you down to the area where you work. Where you live. Once they streamline you, they will then give you the duty number of that area. So that way you don't have there's 2 things. You can either speak to your social. I want to speak to my social worker. They've not been answering this and that. They'll give you more information if they are in, if they are on annual leave, or if they are out. But I will always advise that time ask to speak to the manager. Manager is not available. Leave your details and get the manager to call you back.
I actually have a phone number and I have an email. So
for your social worker's manager.
No, for just my social worker.
So if the emailer, because 6 weeks is a long time, especially for a baby that is coming in 4 weeks, it's a long time. She needs to put a lot of things in place for you before this baby arrives. And it looks like she has done nothing. So the only reason why I'm saying that, email her, but I don't think anything is going to change to except if you are already on a calendar or to-do list for this week. But I always tell to people, go through duty. Things get opportunity as well.
She always texts me impromptu, can I come see you in 2 days? Can I come see you in 3 days? It's always weird. It's not like she will mail you, can I fix a meeting for maybe next week or 2 weeks? She always texts me impromptu. She's always on text. So it always looks unprofessional. Why not mail?
So that it just shows again that she's not having this meeting with you. because she's if you've had your scene review, it's at that meeting that you'll be booking your next appointment, your next visit. So your next meeting, your next review, and your next visit. It should be, and that's what me I don't like. I don't like to force time on my families when I'm going to see them. You talk on the phone, and then you can lay out 3 or 4 days, different times, and say which one will be suitable. And if none of them is suitable, let me know when when you'll be fine. You'll be available, and I can move things around as well. And that's just practicing an anti-oppressive way. But you saying I have 12 o'clock tomorrow, I'm meeting you at 12 o'clock today. That's been oppressive because no matter what you've got planned, you have to drop it because you think you need that more. Anyway, let's not go into that. So as I was saying, sis, to be able to get something out as soon as possible, I will advise you to go through the duty route tomorrow. Duty will be open from 8:30 to 5, whatever local authority you are.
Okay.
Look for their duty number. Ask to speak
What was
to
it called?
the
It said
team
duty
manager.
line, yeah?
Sorry.
You said it's got duty line.
So there's only if you check on their website, there's always a duty line.
What website?
The local authority website. It's like a calling number. Once you get to the website, if you want to contact us, they normally put contact us. They will put phone number there.
Once you get to the website and go to children's services and ask for the duty number of the children's services.
Okay.
So once someone answers you, then they will ask you for your detail because that one is a general number. They will ask for your name and your address. Then I will streamline them to your area. So they will streamline them. They will streamline it to be able to give you the number of the duty for your area. Obviously, in every town or every city is usually divided into central, north, west, east. So the one you are calling is for everyone. If you live in central, they will then give you the duty number of central team.
Okay.
Which will be your team manager's team. Which will be your social workers team. Once you have that details, don't even bother to say I want to speak to my social worker. Go directly to their manager or their assistant manager.
Right.
Go directly and say, can I speak to the manager and assistant manager? And then have all your dates ready. This is the last meeting we had. Baby is due in 4 weeks. We haven't had any scene review. We haven't had any housing planning. We don't know what's going to happen when baby comes. Where will baby live? All those things need to be put in place for you. Where is baby going to stay when baby comes? Has she made any referral for housing to join any of your meetings? Is she talking to housing? What support is she going to give to you? They need to put all those things in place. Plus, a survivor of a domestic violence, you should also be working with a domestic violence worker.
They closed the case because they were like, okay, fine. Because they closed the case, was in January. That's the fact I'm not having any safeguarding issue anymore.
Safeguarding is different from you having all this intervention. You are not having safeguarding. That's because I'll point it, but
yeah, of course.
Yeah. So if they move you off safeguarding, if they say you are no longer on safeguarding and they move you down to sin, it's because they've assessed it and they don't think there's any risk there for you anymore, which is fine, but it doesn't mean the risk is totally out of there. It only means that they are not anticipating more risk. We can manage the risk level to Y. And managing these are things like you need your DV worker, you need your social workers to be putting things. I don't know where you live, and I also don't know what immigration status is, but whatever it is, children's act does not care about won't be money Uganda, won't be in Nigeria, won't be in Pakistan. It doesn't care. As long as that child is in UK, every child has the right to whatever the child needs. And if a child that is coming in 4 weeks, and if mom is struggling with accommodation or mom is struggling with this and there's nothing in place for them, then I don't personally think that, I'm not judging anyone and I'm not criticizing anyone, but I personally don't think they are doing anything, because by now you should have even had your pre-bet thank you, sir. Pre-bet planning meeting. You should have had that as well. Just to make sure that baby is fine, baby okay. Because things that you'll be looking at that meeting is, baby daddy, is he going to be able to see baby? Will he be supervised? Will he be unsupervised? Does he want to be in baby's life? Does he not want to be in baby's life? Things like that should be discussed at that meeting.
They said they've already called and spoken with him over the phone, so that one is
If they've done that, it's fine, but they should then bring into a meeting with professionals and discuss it and tell you as a mom. Someone should be able to speak to you as a mom and say, how do you feel about that? Do you have support? Do you have support out there? Who's going to support you? Because having a newborn on your own is not going to be easy, no matter how old you are, no matter how experienced you are.
October, Mr. Deji, I hail you. I cited you. Desire hair. Yeah, go ahead, ma.
No matter how how experienced you are and how old you are, you need to have that meeting. Your midwife should have been attending that meeting with you. Whichever health visitor that they're going to allocate to your baby should also know that something is happening, especially with a DV case. It doesn't go away like that now. It's not a case that just goes straight off. We are not talking about OG common pan shop and that's the end of it. We're talking about DV and the woman that is pregnant. I think it's a bit of letdown for me. I don't know how many caseloads she's got, or he or she they have got. They don't know how many caseloads they've got, but I think it's a bit of letdown.
Thank you, Mama. Desire.
Can I say something to that sis?
1 minute before you say that, please. Desire hair. You came up before. You want to say something? Apology. We were taking after Mommy Star. You take a mic. If you are still on FYP or you are still in the comment section, there's a space for you. Desire hair. Please come up. We'd love to hear from you. We don't want to take that contribution. You want to chip in back. And those of you that have questions for Mommy Star, please wait. Catherine, we have told Mommy Star to move to our region long time ago, but she refused to. Probably she will listen to you this time around. Just hold on. Otumba Deji, okay, we would love to hear from you. We want to know how life be for US, children, child care, safeguarding protection, migrant community. How is everything going over there? We would love to hear from you, sir. And don't forget to bring my Interstellar, please. Make sure you drop it. Please keep tapping, keep connecting, and keep supporting. What's the name? Sorry for that. Aging backward. Take a mic.
It's just I have a question for that sis, Dinky.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please, the people in charge of your case, has it been 6 months already? I just want to know why they discharge you, because I have similar case.
It's not even up to 6 months. It started like October.
Sorry.
No, it's not up to 6 months. It started October.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe theirs is different, but in my case, if it's not up to 6 months, they can't discharge you. And even when they discharge you, they need to, refer you to another, sorry, I've got a special child. So,
that's fine. That's fine.
They're supposed to refer you to another people to take over from where they stopped. That's what they are supposed to do. And your midwife. Who are the people you went to? Is this the social worker or?
No, it was my midwife.
In my case,
no, it was midwife that made referral to social service and stop domestic abuse and police.
Okay. Let me tell you. In my own case, it was the hospital. It was a nurse at the hospital that referred me to the social worker in my council. And from there, the social worker take it. They don't have your immigration status does not matter. I've got papers, but it doesn't matter. I know people that don't have, and it doesn't matter. Once the child is there and is DV, they will take it up. You're supposed to take. That's the right thing they should do. They will take it up. Just keep. And then you need to start writing them emails. When you write them emails, you can attach your MPs what are they called? the what are these local
member of parliament? Is the member of parliament?
Yes, you can attack them. Yeah, I did that. It's just that it's not in my. It's been 4 years now, I think. So everything is almost gone. I always write them email. I don't relent on the emails. I write them a lot of emails every other day. I write them emails and they attached my local employees and then attach a lot of people with it. You need to know the name of the manager. You know the person that is attending to you, the social worker that is attending to you. You need to phone the office and ask for the manager's email address. You ask for the manager's email address, then every time you send them an email, you copy the manager, then you copy the particular one that is working. You copy them together, and then you send them an email. You keep repeating yourself. Don't get tired. Just tell them what the problem. If you need to start all over again, do it because you are the one that is looking for something to do. So that's what I
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oluwatosin Akujometa, how are you doing? Catherine, you can take a mic if you want to ask Mommy Star any question. Oluwatosin, you want to say something?
I'm driving, so
okay. Oh. Love and peace. Are you with us?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mama. Where are you streaming from?
Yes, sir. Hold on, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mama.
Yes, sir. I really don't know what you are discussing about, but I have a 18-year-old daughter that she just turned 18 last month. And mine is not about social worker or anything like that, but when she was 3 years old, I noticed that she wasn't like our normal sister. I know there's something wrong, but thankfully, last month, without me keeping quiet, going to the doctor, head visitor, here and there, speech and language therapy, it was the secondary school that I did a lot. Then her getting to sixth form with the help of the SEMCO, and we do the speech therapy, the counseling. Then they refer her to the Oxley for the neuromentally department, which they diagnose her with ASD. And this is what I've been saying when she was 3 years old. That means 15 years ago, I've been crying for help. It's very emotional. But she's a very high skill ASD. Just to encourage every mother out there, don't give up. I didn't give up. Whatever it is, just keep on pushing. God will help us through. It's not easy as a single mother. Not single mother in divorce or anything. The father passed away 3 years ago, and this hasn't been the same really. But whatever you are going through, mothers, I praise you. Well done. Keep on pushing, and God will see you through. Thank you.
Thank you, Mama. Stay strong, Mama. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, yeah. Take a mic. Take a mic. Backward. Aging backward.
That's That's all I wanted to say.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Catherine, take a mic.
Yeah. Take the woman. You said you will speak to me before I send the email.
Yes. Oh, you can. What is in your mind? Send the draft to me on WhatsApp. I will talk.
Okay, because I'm even clueless. I don't even know what draft to send to her.
Yeah, let's talk on WhatsApp then. I will talk to you after this.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Catherine, take a mic.
Good evening, everybody. Mommy, I can't remember.
Mommy
Please,
Star.
I have a question.
Mommy Star, B. Mommy Ben Biggs. Both of them are still here.
Mommy Ben Biggs. Good evening, ma. Good evening, everybody on the panelist and every commentator.
I'm here.
I have a question, please. When a foster carer and a social worker has a conflict of interest, what do you do as a mother?
You need to explain what do you mean by conflict of interest when they have conflict of interest. Is it either of them or both?
The both of them, obviously. I think the social worker is working with the foster parent just to keep the children. That's what I think.
So let me explain the process, then you know who. When it comes to fostering and adoption, the foster parents or the adoptive parents, they have their own social worker, and the child has their social worker as well. So when you say foster parents and social worker are not agreeing with each other, is it the social worker that is looking after the foster parents or the social worker for the child?
Okay, so the social worker for the child is having, the first day they wanted to take them, right? I told the lawyer that I didn't want them to take them. I have family. They didn't explore that. They took them immediately, right? And they come up.
Were you, before they took them to this foster, did you go to court?
Yes. So she brought the court letter 12th of December, 2 p.m. and I was supposed to be in court at 3 p.m.
And so what did you do after then? When you got there and you had 1 hour to prepare for court?
She gave me a list of solicitors to call,
which was impossible. So after then, that you couldn't attend, did you get in touch with court?
And I told the solicitor no, that I don't want them to take them all. I have a sister in South that they can go to. But they didn't, I don't know, they had a meeting before and they said no, they had to take them.
Okay. I don't, again, this is a bit of internal thing. That's all I can say. Where we work, I work in family safeguarding team as well. When we are in court, as long as judgment has not been passed, if we are in the morning or at Irojo, and then it's 1 o'clock, I don't know about your area, but my own area, there's judges go to lunch between 1 and 2. Okay, yeah, they get up 1 and they come back at 2. So we've tendered all our cases between 9 and 12:30, 12:45, or 1 to judge local. And that between 1 and 2, mom or dad comes up and say, "Oh, I just realized that I have this cousin, uncle, and I've just spoken to them and they can have my children." Me or my own local authority, we will then ask the judge, even though the children will have been with foster parents, obviously where they are, we will then ask the judge that we want to go and do a check on this private SGO, special guardianship offer. Is that, I think, SGO, something like that, sir. And what it means is mom or dad has brought out somebody from the family and say, "I can care for my child." So we would always ask for 8 weeks, so that they can care for my child. And we always ask the court for 8 weeks. So within that 8 weeks, we'll have done our agency check, we'll have done DPS check, we'll have done everything. And if the person is deemed fit to take care of the child, then we'll then go back to court and say, "Okay, judge, if we are still going to the proceeding, or we are no longer going to the proceeding, or this child is going to be with this, SGO, and they are going to work at contacts among themselves since their families and all that. And it also depends on the risks that we are trying to avoid anyway. So in your own case, I don't know how they did. There might be no that I deviated.
The risk they are trying to avoid is not even at home. It's my husband, but he's not even at home. He's far away. Like he's far away.
So I don't, sis, Sherry, I'm not going to lie to you. In this profession, it's a very funny one, and personally, we want to believe everybody. Do you get? I'll give you an example. I had a case years ago. It was domestic violence. So their first child, domestic violence and drug use. They are both really young. They are both in that 24, 25. Their first child, a girl, she was adopted, full adoption, just because they were taking drugs over this girl. We did everything we could do. No, we don't see each other. If I call Okunrin B, I call the girl C. B is the one that takes him. C, he will say, no, I don't see him. I'm on my own, this and that. Before you know, he won't know you like it. After adopting the first one, we brought them together. We did a lot of work with them together as a parent. They attended a lot of parenting classes. We worked together we worked with them separately. Only for me to get to the office one Monday morning, B, which is the husband, has been arrested for punching C in the tummy. That C is 9 months pregnant. So by the time we went through it all, wanted to parry jangba, when I went to see her at the hospital at Awanta, she said no, it was both ways. So they should release him, this and that. To cut the long story short, there was Mark Ibato Dati ambulance log, they saw that he tried to strangle her. So the guy went to prison for 36 months. They sent him for 36 months. So at the end of his prison sentence, he back to prison Tinku. So he was given this, I don't know what they're called. When they will let them out for one day and then you come back, a weekend and you come back. So he started getting that. He did really well in prison, started getting that. And their culture that says they are not to communicate. It's not even to see the boy to prison. Not meant to see nothing. Don't communicate until you go back, until he finishes everything there. They will not look at their restraining order. You won't believe when come out want to know no, come out for the guy going out in and out for the weekend, go to lawyer another one. So when she said that the guy was Baboma, they had to send B back to prison to go and finish his sentence there. So what I'm trying to find, it might be so for me now, if I was looking at your case and you tell me this person that committed this DV is no longer in the house, I will not 100% believe you. Do you get? I will not 100% believe you. I still want to do my own find. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I still want to do my own finding. So it might be, I'm not giving example for that. Only Jen control in here. But where I fault it is when you brought out someone, they should have at least checked that person out. The highest they can tell you is they don't qualify. Yes, they qualify. No, they don't qualify. But it should have been an option to check. It shouldn't just be no, and your no is a no. I think Tebati, so they don't have the full care order now, do they?
No, they don't. It's not even DB, but like
you don't have to go into details. Please don't go into details. Since the full care order is not there, I would say that go back and ask for this person that you put out to be assessed. Just don't give up on it. That's my advice for you. I would say go back and say, I have put down this family member, or I put down this ABC person. I need it to assess them. They have the right to go and do a parental assessment on them. Look at where they live, do their DBS check, do their agency check, and do everything. And if they are happy and fine, they've got the spare room. I don't know how many children though, and they've got rooms that accommodate these children. Why not? Children should be kept with known faces, with family, before we look at first-time parenting. So please, I would say go back, sis. Go back and keep marrying. If it's 13, not in the full care order, go back and keep marrying. Are you getting contact with these children though?
Yes, just one.
Just one contact away.
Just one of them. Not both of them.
They are not letting you contact the second one.
Yes.
Okay, it might be George Lumikomashi. I don't know the full details. Sometimes George Okingba. So I don't know the full detail, but at least go back and tell them to assess this person for SGO. If you're right, they should grant it to you.
Thank you, ma.
And again, if your social worker doesn't listen, go to the manager. It's as simple as that.
Thank you, ma. Thank you, ma. Motherhood. Have we got something? Motherhood. Any contribution? Let's keep tapping. Let's keep connecting. Let's keep sharing. Let's keep inviting loved one. Okay. You are just learning. You are learning and listening. That's fine. If anybody is in the comment section and you want us to bring you up, please let us know. We'll be rounding up shortly now. Thank you for everyone that have contributed so far. Thank you so much. Mommy Bambix, thank you. Mommy Star, thank you. Black Equality for this. Triple A. Thank you, everyone. Do we have any other question before we round up? Mommy Star, to job at Tabule Lota Roju.
I was sick for a long time.
Oh.
The whole of December, Christmas, I was really sick. I was in the hospital for about 24 nights. I was really sick. I'm just getting better now.
Sorry to hear that. Hope you are getting better. But the Lord strengthen you and give you a quick recovery. We pray for a quick recovery, Mama. You are well in Jesus' name. This question you are asking, use your mouth to ask now. Why they put for comment section?
Mr. Please come to our county. Please move here. Sorry to say this, save the woman. I feel someone is talking me here because I realize is whenever I'm talking, she always pops up to the comment section. And I need to call your attention to that dark skin coffee, which is giving me the vibe of who is this person? Like whenever I'm talking, she goes, seeking up is better, choose what is needed, not going back, moving forward as in hi, I should go back home. And I've noticed is whenever I take the mic, whenever I'm talking, this person
I think that skin coffee might have come up before, might not really go in directly with that. But I'm not disputing your feeling or what you said. But that skin coffee, you're free to take a mic, you're free to come up if you have different views, opinion. But
I just feel
this platform
allow someone to learn, not you. Like I always feel, are you stalking me? Are you attacking me whenever I'm trying to like maybe
this platform is for everybody to learn, and we are not tolerating any form of attack or any disrespect or stuff like that. So she might be talking from different view or side of coin, but if anybody feel like contributing, we always give them rooms to come up to give their own views, and nobody will condemn you or criticize you. It's your view. Oh, I was in a program yesterday, International Women's Day program, and one of the speaker, not even one of the keynote speaker, she made mention of something. Anything that somebody said is their problem. Anything you do is your problem. So don't let us be too much about what people say. All we need to do is let's move on. Let's get the best around ourselves. Sorry if you feel that, Mama. We love you. We are with you. We are the same. We are in the community. Dark Skin Coffee, we love you. We are in one community. Mommy Ben Base, are we going to round up?
Yes, please, Mommy Ben, please move to our side too.
If you let Daddy Ben Base, yet
Daddy Ben Base is doing his plan for his work tomorrow. Daddy Ben Base go to work. I don't go to work.
You don't go to work. You make money from home. We know you. You make money.
And you know what? I'm in the next 2 weeks. Proud 2 weeks. I'm on annual leave.
I'm
on annual leave for the next 2 weeks, so I'm on top of myself the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm applying.
What did you say?
I'm applying.